time. Nice.
Yeah. We don't have to deal with the credential problems.
Yeah, I made sure the computer, I turned it on.
We rebooted ahead of time?
Yeah.
For the record, I did just update my PC.
That one?
My personal.
Oh.
So what does that mean?
I was going to say,
I
what
may
does that
have
have
some
to do?
pots.
Okay. I'm thinking you're saying like you just did a firmware update to your PC.
How can those parts help us out?
More faster.
More fast, okay.
Tim Connors.
Always on time.
Always first. That's what I like about that guy.
Sweet. We
That's
got that
about it,
popped
though.
out.
Evening, Tim.
Get that out of the way. Perfect. All right.
Where the fuck's my mouse? All right.
What's up, Gus?
I'm going to pee before this
My
gets
dad's
crazy.
pretty quick to it, too.
He is.
Goes right to his iPad. Right to his iPad, then he streams it right to his TV.
Shout out Scott.
Yeah, right? It's my dad.
I'm glad we have this one.
It's very important.
That's the most.
We had that clipped out before.
Yeah.
For the Charlie Justice segment
Mm-hmm.
of the whole thing. The Italian police.
Still ongoing.
God, that polar seltzer is
To
so
be
good.
determined. It really is. I don't know how Shook doesn't like this. Like I
mean,
like the other one a lot, obviously, but
the amount of cans I go through a polar seltzer.
I switched to a soda stream.
really,
Give me an
just-
honest review.
I drink plain seltzer. I don't really like flavors. Like, if anything, it's raspberry lime. And so I was buying Liquid Death at $18 a fucking six-pack or something.
That's
Yep.
different.
Yeah, but once you have one of them, they're very nice.
They're delicious.
Those are too carbonated for me.
Really?
And so the Liquid Death was like toned down a little bit. And I was like, I might as well just fucking carbonate it to my liking.
My biggest problem is that I really like the just canned still water Liquid Death, which it just gets to a whole other level of ridiculous for $3.50 for a can of water. So I just.
But yeah, I mean, the annoyance is that you have to fucking refill the cartridge. Is it my
Yeah.
too much?
No, you're good.
yeah,
You sound
you're
good.
okay.
Refilling the fucking thing at like Walmart and shit like that, because no other place refills it. It's not like you can bring it to like Target. You have to go into
The COT canister?
and you have to go
Air
to
gas?
You have to bring it to fucking guest services in Walmart, and I'm
Wherever.
not making judgments, but the fucking line is the line, you know.
So, and that's part of the problem is because that isn't going to last forever.
No, but
Either.
it's. I mean,
Only diamonds.
I have
last forever.
probably like a bottle a night, and it's a couple weeks now already.
Could you mainline into a big CO2 tank maybe in your
That's what I'm
basement?
curious. Yeah.
That's not a bad. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
You get like a big boy.
Yeah,
Big
because
boy
it's
regulator.
It's literally just like you screw the cartridge in on the back. So let's see
Maybe
what
just an
I
adapter.
mean, like, you just blow it right through the countertop.
fucking
That's
trying to like cut down costs on seltzer. Just like fabricate a whole fucking bar. Full
you look like
top. Yeah.
Walter White in the
Yeah.
basement. Can you manipulate the flavor? Can you add flavor?
Yeah,
into
sure.
That?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. That's cool. I never even.
It
Yeah.
took me a minute to realize we
Oh
weren't
yeah,
talking about
Tim
drugs.
Connor's got it. Yeah.
What,
It took me a minute to realize we weren't talking about drugs.
buddy? Some may
yeah.
consider seltzer a drug.
Yeah, I do. I have a
Yeah.
serious problem with the amount of seltzers I drink, and I'm not discriminatory. I will drink any of them. The only ones I'm really not a big fan of, and I've talked about it, is like LaCroix. The majority of those.
LaCroix's ass. How many shirts you got on over there?
He's only got one.
Yeah, he popped that off, but then it was like, yeah, he's put that back on.
Last time I was on, I know I was wearing my own fucking shirt.
I think
am
you get
again,
the
so.
Cuban link on.
Oh, Johnny Tappy over here.
Limoncello LaCroix and key lime LaCroix are the only two that I mess with.
Pamplemousse.
It's not for me.
Love them.
It's not for me. But I'm open to trying. I'm trying all of them. I think my least favorite might be bubbly. Might be my least favorite.
Yeah,
The flavors are just like off.
They are.
The
Yeah,
flavors are they're just wrong.
those don't hit.
If I'm honest with you, I think seltzer tastes like dick.
I listen. I love it. It's like
I
the only
wanna
thing
know-
I drink.
Going against the grain. Everybody fucking loves them now.
I will
Little
say,
contrarian over there.
Yeah.
seltzer in a can better than seltzer in a big bottle, plastic
I
bottle.
can't do
Yeah.
the 1 liters. I know the 1 liters are cheaper, but I can't do them because
It goes flat, fast.
it's just I like the cold
Mm-hmm.
can. It's my brewski.
The whole
I'm having a brewski. I'm having a brewski
the
with
whole
the boys.
experience.
Yeah.
Fun fact: I know not everybody partakes in soda in here, or at least we try not to.
Yeah, I had 2 Mountain Dews today, so I don't know how well I'm doing with that.
Have you ever noticed that Coca-Cola at McDonald's tastes better?
Yeah,
Oh,
of course.
That's fucking
Yeah,
facts.
wait.
Do you know why?
Oh, it must be the ratio.
The ratio, the mixture of the machine.
Nope, that's the first thing I thought.
Is it
too.
like a special fucking sauce to McDonald's only?
There's in a way, but it's not Coca-Cola changing flavoring or anything in particular. All but McDonald's, Coca-Cola syrup is delivered in plastic bags. Coca-Cola syrup to McDonald's is delivered in stainless steel containers.
Oh.
That
I bet that
is what changes the whole thing, because way back when McDonald's or Coke signed with McDonald's put it into their contract and it's never been changed.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because like Coke eats fucking rust, so it's just eating the barrel on the inside of the thing.
It's the same thing with those Coke. Like, you know, you go to the Coke machines, you see them in the movies, and you can get like there's like 100 different sodas in this thing.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Pibb out of there.
Oh,
Yep.
Mr.
Tastes-
Pibb, stop, dude. I love that.
It's unreal. Unreal.
The ginger ale out of there.
That
it's just-
also must be why that Dr. Pepper tastes better out of the McDonald's than it does anywhere else.
they probably have that same deal or similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, all right. Live chat's popping off. We're ready to go. Good to go. We got a good audience in
Get
here.
the trigger word,
TDs.
seltzer.
Shout outs to TDs.
Big shouts TDs. Big shouts TDs for
C10.
Hook his C10.
I got that, yeah.
Georgia Gold. I think he's going
that's
to
what he
name
named
it.
it, Georgia
Yeah, because it
Gold.
came from Georgia. Happens to be gold. But yeah,
enough.
big shouts on and congrats to him for that. Thanks for the stuff for last month's B for B. Everybody go check out TD's Manufacturing if you want some good leather goods. He's making belts. I think I'm going to snag a belt from him.
I could probably use a belt or two, honestly. I pull my pants up more times a day than I take a breath of air.
Why don't you just wear a
Do you
belt?
wear any belt?
Like an adult.
No, I don't have any.
I feel like past the age of 18, you just wear one.
I think
Yeah, maybe like 24.
You know
I've
what it
worn a
is?
belt since I was in like 14.
You also make your bed every morning. Psycho.
I fucking
You know what I can-
I
you know what
do
I can
make my
picture
bed
you
every
wearing?
morning.
studded belt.
Suspenders.
Really?
Yeah.
I would, but I think they're too dangerous for me. Okay, I am not a man of
Or
danger.
are you going to whip yourself in the eye?
They could
Is that
just-
what you're afraid of?
At any moment, unclamp and they're weapons.
Well, they can't if they're dickies.
That
But
could be a benefit of them.
that
yeah.
could be. Hey, can you fix this printer? Fuck away.
Yeah, no, I just big belt guy here. Big belt.
I would wear a belt if I had.
I don't
a
know
nice
who
one.
Buy It Broken is, but great name.
Yeah, it's a good name.
If
Enjoy
you buy
that.
it broken.
Yeah, for sure, though.
I'll literally put
Fart
fart
because he
maker
can
on your
do
belt.
he can do letters. Yeah, I was trying to think of a bunch of different stuff to put on mine.
That's
yeah.
fucking hilarious. I call the medium ice caramel lattes from the DD shop shit makers.
Yeah.
Because the second I drink them, I'm making shit.
I mean, it's fact because each time you've shown up here with a fresh iced coffee or even
Farting.
gotten an iced coffee whilst you were here
Pooping.
in the bathroom.
Never ending poops.
There are episodes of you starting but leaving and coming back because of the iced coffee.
I encourage you to get your internals.
Sometimes
Looked
when
at
you go to Starbucks,
what can they do? What are we gonna do? MRI?
No. It'd be an endoscopic.
Oh,
endoscopy.
okay.
yeah,
Like
they can
a
go.
yeah. Look up the yeah.
Colon cleansing.
Well, they do it two ways. They can maybe meet in the middle, but they can go through the throat
Yeah.
and see the esophagus, see how
Yeah.
that's going down the food tract.
You get
They can
much
go halfway.
They
you
also
get
go up the
much
pooper.
acid reflux.
That's why I like getting my
I have
pee checked
reflux.
because they go up the,
Yeah. To give you a whoop.
Ah, the front street.
You get acid reflux? Is that something for you?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. I can't eat and lay down. I'll throw up.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not good.
Yeah,
Like-
that's not.
Like froth.
Do you take a probiotic or anything?
No.
You
Should I
probably
take a
should.
probiotic?
You
Yeah.
take
Start
any
there.
vitamin. What's your stack?
My Mountain Dew. I don't eat breakfast. I'll just have a nice coffee. Get the spike the blood sugar.
There's a vat of acid in his stomach. More so than
This
this
makes sense why you shit your brains.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like burp on shit and melt it.
You got like solids going in?
Sugar's just going through the throat. That's true. That's the fastest way to my heart, TDs.
Yeah. All right.
I think we're
Ready to
good.
make this happen?
Everybody ready?
Mm.
Hard out 9:30. Remember, Shook?
Yeah.
On pace, baby. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Josh Garcia, and this is the Revival Motoring Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Corey.si.
Hello, hello.
Chuck, who is in the mountains, like 8 feet of snow. He sent us photos.
Yeah, he's in Utah.
Yep, he's out there.
Impressive flowers over there.
Snowing it up. He will be back not next week.
The week after.
The week after.
Yeah.
As usual, we're joined by Mr. Shook TD.
Oh, what's up, guys? Thank you for joining another episode of the Revival Motoring Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe below. Just kidding. I hate you. Don't do that, please.
Please, for the love of God. And our lovely guest in studio today, Mr. Four-Door Phil.
Well, gentlemen, thank you again for having me.
We're going to talk LS swaps, dude.
Kehd.
Wicked cheap, wicked fast.
Yeah, just LS swap.
Done. Right? I think I stole your seltzer as well.
I just brought them to the table.
Just an extra, because I'm looking, I'm like, I thought I
didn't-
brought two, but then I put one that, so I'm like, oh shit, did I steal somebody?
That-
So good, it's just an extra.
When I burp, that's what it tastes like all the time. So
Mandarin's Polar Seltzer?
That's what I brought that for you guys.
Do you have a primary
Brother,
care?
get checked out.
right. Yeah. Primary care visit. Do you have insurance? Let's start with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm doing all right. Got an HSA. Just swipe the card.
You should go. You should use it.
Yeah. Maybe I can use it at therapy too.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the rules. You just talk to your HR representative. I'm sure they'll be able to help you.
I'm sure they will.
We're concerned.
I might be beyond help.
We're like concerned parents, buddy. Go to the
Yeah.
I do what I want, Mom.
not the ER, but get yourself seen, checked out. Long term. Need you here long term.
Get the holes checked.
On this week's episode, like I said, we're going to cover LS swaps, maybe just kind of the what does it bring for value? What do you want out of it? And how much are you willing to soak into it? There are some people who believe you can do it really cheap.
But how cheap is cheap?
How cheap is cheap?
Relative
So
term.
we're going to cover that, maybe get into some news, some events. But yeah, before we get rolling, this episode is brought to you by our B4B listeners, subscribers, everybody who helps us out. It is that time of the month, the first of the month. Wow, it's never landed on the first of the month.
No, it has never landed on the first. And
It's the first for everything.
There it is.
next month, guess what day it'll be on?
Friday the 13th.
The first.
The first.
Trending, if you will. But seeing that it is the first Wednesday of this month, we are going to give away another B4B winner. We're going to pick a winner.
Another basket, if you will.
Another basket, if you will. So we're going to do that later on in this episode when we explain to you what exactly the B4B is. And also, this episode is brought to you by our coffee lineup, which you can go to revivemotoring.com, where you can pick a light roast, medium roast, or dark roast coffee. All there, ready for you, whole bean or ground.
Yeah, I feel whole bean now. I know you were a whole bean guy last
I heard
time.
that last podcast.
Yep.
I'm big on that.
We're at
I
the
know.
whole bean.
I gotta grab a
Whole big
bag.
bean.
Is that? How do you like your beans?
Depends on what kind of brew I'm doing.
Okay.
Pour over, drip, French.
So, all right. So
espresso.
I'm just getting into the different brew options.
Yeah,
Last week we were told somebody likes their beans coarse ground.
that's usually for like French press or something.
Okay. And there's a setting on your bean grinder where you can just dial it
Right
in.
in, baby.
I
And
like
the
mine.
fine is for cappuccinos and all that sort of stuff. You
Correct.
press
And
it
then
then even
medium is
further.
typically for like your pour over, or not pour over, but like your hot brew. whatever.
General
Like,
brew.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I
Yeah.
like the dust. They pack it in, you know?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
for like cappuccinos. Yeah. And that little
Espresso.
cup, and they use the little stamper thing.
Little stampy.
Yep.
And then
Yeah,
they
like-
make you coffee art.
A
Yeah.
little coffee art.
And it says, go to the doctor.
a little,
Chuck.
yeah, a little penis in there. Yeah, a little penis. in the cup.
Yeah, I learned a lot about coffee.
Did you know?
Love it.
You saw the beans in the what are they, like cat things? They're poop.
Yeah. Oh yes.
They debunked that.
I don't know who you're calling they. However,
them?
our master roaster, if you will,
Did he say
was
that
on
was
Topics
BS?
Under the Stairs, and he did a thorough walkthrough of why that's bullshit.
Yeah, because yeah. I think I read that, or maybe I listened to that. Episode.
More of a gimmick than anything.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Yeah,
but if you're not familiar, they how does this life cycle go? They put beans out for the cats to eat. The cats eat them and shit them out. Then they take that and roast those beans.
Shit beans.
Shit beans.
The real shit maker.
I've
That's
never-
what you guys are selling?
I've
Yeah,
never-
no, not
no,
us. No. It was just the thing. I didn't
Is it
know what it
real?
was. Yeah.
It's
I didn't know
for real,
what it
yeah.
was until Justin talked about it on Topics Under the Stairs, because I think Stairs actually asked him, "Oh, are you familiar with blah blah blah?" As he was obviously researching for coffee, it just was one of those things that came up.
They eat
And then
so
again,
many of
he
these
went
things.
into a
Their poops look like paydays, but instead of nuts, it's beans.
that is a
I'm just
visual.
Happy. I'm happy I'm not a coffee guy.
That is a visual. Oh man, I love a good bean water.
I know everyone does. You know, I've tried. You name it. I've tried that cup of coffee, that style, that whatever.
Have you tried our coffee?
I love tea.
Have you tried our coffee?
Yes,
In the can or the brewed?
both.
Who brewed you a coffee?
Catherine.
Catherine, yeah, she's got.
Like, knowing Catherine, it was a good cup too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is
I
a
need a cup-
highbrow coffee girl.
I
So
need
like,
to brew my own goddamn coffee. Do you
Yeah.
make your own iced coffee?
Yes and no. It's kind of a fucking pain in the ass to make iced coffee.
Yeah.
I'll buy my iced coffee in the summer and make my hot coffee in the winter. That's like my rotation.
50-50 split it.
I just ice it could be like -10. I'm like iced coffee, please.
Yeah, but then you realize you're spending fucking $50
$5
a
a day.
week on coffee.
You bet you're goddamn right.
And that's why you can't afford an LS swap.
Maybe I can. You'll find out.
And don't worry, coming soon, more cold start coffee for your cold coffee
Yeah,
needs.
I've gotten
this
so
spring.
many requests of like, hey, when's the cans coming back? I'm like, brace.
Could we,
bring it back.
Yeah.
Are we going to do a flavored can?
To a certain extent.
Like a vanilla?
We can change the flavor profile of the beans in the roast, but we can't add artificial flavoring to our stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. We're not going to be one of those.
No, you don't want that anyway.
Yeah.
I see. I'm a flavor guy. I don't know.
Put it this way. Then
I drink flavored milk.
if that's the case, then I can have a little flavor bar for you to
Okay.
further ruin your gut
Hell yeah.
with a lot of different things that they use. Matter of fact, I can get the same exact stuff that they have at the place that
Yeah.
the orange and pink place.
With the pumps.
Mm-hmm.
The orange and pink plate.
I don't want to speak that.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak their name.
All right. Tune me up, dude.
So yeah, let's get rolling.
If you'd like to leave a callback number, press 2.
Callbacks.
Who's got them? What do you got? You got
I gotta
you pulled up the
unravel
phone.
mine.
You gotta unravel. Quick one we talked about in the pre-show, but shouts to TD's new truck. He picked it up called Georgia Gold. I think it's a 1970. Which is a 1970 GMC pickup truck. Is that what that is? That TD's picked up.
I'm worse with the GMCs and the Chevys, but
I mean,
because the
you know what?
grills,
And
I think it's.
I can
I'm
just
pretty
look at
sure
his
it's a
Instagram.
69 to 70 is that single bar grill, at least on the Chevys.
I know it's a 70,
yeah,
so that's good there. But shout out to him for picking this up.
yeah, it's a GMC.
TD's been a listener for a long time in the podcast, and he has talked about having a truck since he's been talking about it on the podcast. So, he posted this little reel of putting a revival sticker on the bumper of something. I was like, "What's this guy? Who's he's got like a wagon or something of some sort. Like this isn't his car." Turns out it is his truck. So shouts to him.
Yep.
I look forward to seeing what he does with it. Maybe he'll make a trip up north.
We've chatted a couple in the DMs, and he was kind of telling me like what his plans for it and stuff like that are, and it should be a cool little street truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Florida, a little loose and fast with the rules down there. So maybe get away with some.
Some
cool
might
stuff.
say a lot loose and fast with the rules down there. Seems like they're changing every hour. All right, yeah. Here's my call backs. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I think this was somehow we talked about longest tenured cars.
Well, oh yes.
Just cars in existence.
I don't think it was
like
last week. I think it was the week before.
What did we say? The Nissan.
Did you say tenured?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Frontiers that
Oh,
ran
like
for
a Z.
longest span of
The
time. if you will.
the not GTR. Yeah, the GTR.
350Z.
Yeah. So I can't remember if I brought this up. I don't think I did from Diogo. Call back to yesterday's episode. Mercedes G-Wagon first year of production was 1979. Still looks the same 35 years later.
Wow.
It's a good one.
Never thought about
I
that.
think there's
Flew
like
right
a
on-
contract or something like that with those. Like, because I don't think Mercedes makes those, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Something weird like that. I could be way off, but I'm pretty sure like they have a contract where they have to keep the same body style for like X amount of years, and that's
Yeah.
why they haven't changed.
That company.
But I also don't fucking know Mercedes. I could be bullshitting.
If that's the case, and
Yeah.
that company's not Mercedes, whoever is that company, they're in the money.
Bank.
I,
Solid business plan.
I heard something about the G-Wagons, and I don't know if it's true, and I've done zero research, but I'm going to put it out here because it's bro science.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about they qualify as a different like tax deductible for so if you spend the money buying that vehicle versus a different vehicle, it is more deductible than others. I don't know if that's true because I'm not a tax guy, but someone claims that's why you see a lot of them in affluent areas.
I think I heard something like that.
So
doubt it.
don't know if that's true, but I'm putting it out here like it is fact.
That would make sense only because a couple of people have
It doesn't make
flaunted
sense
that
to
they
me,
they
but-
bought them.
Yeah, doesn't make sense to me, but hey, it's not here for me to make sense of. Right?
Yeah, like a entrepreneur would buy that for themselves. You're saying to do some tax stuff.
I'm just saying if you
In general,
to-
you can
yeah.
get a bigger break.
yeah, if you buy
A moving house.
Escalade versus this, like you'll get a bigger break buying the G-Wagon.
So the only thing, just doing a quick Googles here, the legal side of Section 179, heavy vehicles. When asked about writing off a G-Wagon, if your vehicle has gross GVWR above 6,000 pounds but below 14,000 pounds, you're eligible for a $26,200 write-off.
Yeah, that's why you see
TCS.
dude. That's why you see so many 2,500 Denali's because every contractor that has one is just gonna write this thing.
So it's
off.
not just G-Wagon, it's
Yeah.
it's a gross vehicle.
That's why you
weight.
see every 2,500 out there.
With commercial plates, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
TCS knew that
Instantly.
immediately.
He's
I'm
out
so-
there.
Dude, I'm so good at spouting out bro science. I'm so good at it.
Things you heard once.
I retain, so I'll hear something, I retain 80% of it.
Yeah.
That's law.
That's all you need.
I'm going to be honest, that Coke thing earlier, I heard that like a week ago, and I'm like, I got to save that.
You guys get what?
Yeah, hold
know
on
what
to
I
your
know?
seats. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on to your butts.
Yeah, I'll hear something and like I just retain a portion of it, but it's enough just to get me in trouble.
You're in the conversation.
Yeah.
You're right.
I can throw something out there, but I can't carry it.
I was going to say, you got the plane in the air, may not land.
I can
Just
float
back
it.
out
Yeah,
of
I
the
just-
conversation slowly.
It's like you're passing everyone pushing around a balloon. It's like I can start it, but I can't get it back going back around.
See how it goes.
But all right, yeah. So shouts to G-Wagons that you made him for a long ass time.
Yep. Other callback was from our buddy Swoops.
Swoops.
Let's see. Callback to the episode from last week. The car painted in the Honda brown is my brown. Is his brown car urban titanium metallic?
What?
Urban titanium.
That whole sentence lost me.
Uh,
Whose car?
You know what? Google
Yeah, just Google the Swoops car.
the Swoops Mark IV. It'll
Yeah.
come up. This is a car that'll actually come up.
Yeah. Or yeah, actually, if you just do Swoops Mark IV.
Yeah.
This one?
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's triple OG
It's
car.
Facebook.
That's
Okay, that
Ultra
works.
OG car.
Why are we talking about this though?
Because
Because this color.
about the Honda brown.
Oh.
Last week we mentioned Honda's brown.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what brown though? Off the CRV?
We were talking about some brown color Honda
Yeah.
and jump off this person's Facebook page. We
I'm
want
absolutely trying.
images. Hit me with images.
Hit me with a flicker.
There we go. This
From
is someone I
Sam,
want to
yeah,
promote.
we
Okay,
can-
this
right.
is better. Yeah, this color brown. This is a ultra OG car. I remember this. You know what we talked about seeing cars in person, and that you were like, "Whoa!" I talked about the half hood Mark IV. This is another car I saw in Maryland, and I was just like,
Blown away.
"What the fuck? I didn't know this was possible."
Yeah.
The headers on that thing are probably my
And Phil,
favorite.
this is at the time where like getting your fenders rolled for you and I were like, yo, like, you just broke your friend's brains, and meanwhile this thing pulls up and you're like,
I
what the
remember
fuck, man?
people commenting about getting their fender rolled as like a mod.
Oh yeah.
They're like,
Meanwhile,
"Yeah,
this guy
bro,
is doing this.
had my fenders rolled, bro." It's like,
It's-
okay.
It's funny. I kind of had like the perspective to look back on it the other day, where it's like a little bit older, all of us now, and so like a little bit more like expendable money, and so we could probably do. I mean, not to this fucking level, but you could afford at least a decent car. But
Yeah.
when we were like 18 trying to do this, and you saw someone with like that was probably 25, 30, whatever, with like a decent job, and you saw their fucking car, it was like, how?
Yeah,
Yeah.
how is that possible?
I feel the same way, and now like,
I hope kids today still feel that way. It's fucking cool.
yeah, I kind of had a moment like that, not with cars, but like this kid at the grocery store was like, I was wearing a band hat. He's like, "Oh yeah, I fucking love that band," and I was like, "Nice." Like, you're young and you're working on a supermarket. Like, I like to hear that. You didn't just tell me about Drake's new album that I have no idea about. Like,
What was the band?
Traders.
No.
Well,
Not me
you gotta jump in there, buddy.
buddy.
There he is, the man himself.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's definitely the CRV brown. I could tell
Yeah.
from this picture now.
The Swoops
Yeah,
himself.
but this car, I mean,
It's very
still-
cool.
it still looks like this today. Actually, it was just pulled out of
A
storage.
Volkswagen that looks the same from 10 years ago. I'm not surprised.
You should. He might have sent me photos. Actually, it's been in storage for 10 years.
yeah.
This is cool. This was like very ahead.
Yeah, everything he did was light years ahead.
Yeah.
Light years.
He
I like these.
He-
Are these stock? These.
Not even close.
Okay.
Dude, there's not a single thing
Volkswagen don't do that.
no
I don't know because I know like some.
stock. You mean metal?
Yeah, there's nothing.
Is that a coolant pipe
Looks like
or is it
fuel.
AC or fuel?
Oh, this one I don't know.
It's
No,
cool. I like when people
be
make
like a
hard
fucking
lines for
evac
things.
or
I
something
think
like
that's
that.
coolant.
Hard lines for soft line things. Very cool.
I think it's recirc for what do you call it? Delete. Oh shit! Goes inside the car, gives you heat.
Oh yeah,
AC?
because like look at this one.
Heater core?
That's
Heated
hot.
core. There you go. Heated core recirc.
This is
what I
super.
think it
This is exactly what I want to do on my motor
Yeah,
for
look
heat.
at the detail. Like that's a fucking TIG fitting on there.
Yeah,
like,
sick.
That's legit.
I want to do that for my steering rack too, for like power steering. There's no reason why you can't put
Also,
fittings where fittings
This
should
was
be.
10 years ago.
Yeah,
I know it's
Yeah,
so cool. Like,
wild.
like-
I don't know where that twin cam 24 valve
Like-
cover comes from
That
because that,
looks
ain't it either.
that looks Nissan.
But-
but look
Yeah.
at this shit. Nobody did Allen head bolts that far ago. That's like around. This is before Downstar.
He did, and that's why he has a great business today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's why hard
yeah,
lines by
we,
swoops.
We
is a
could go
thing.
down the rabbit hole of this shit, but back there wasn't companies like dress up bolts and shit like that.
No.
Where you could just buy like a kit for your fucking car and your engine to get it like completely done. Like you had to go and shop Fastenal for like titanium bolts. Or
You had to
even
go
then,
and measure
yeah.
every single
Yeah,
one and then
yeah.
go buy them one by one by one.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I don't
Sucks,
know.
Yeah.
I don't know the status of that car at the moment. I know Corey said it was pulled out of storage. Swoops filled me in on what he wants to do with it.
Yes.
I hope he does.
Yeah, I mean, he'll break the internet again.
Yeah,
So
it'll once again
uh,
be just as like absurd.
I don't think any of the photos still exist in our chat, unfortunately.
While you're looking for that, excuse me. All right, yeah, that leads to all my other stuff that I have saved for our discussion in a little bit.
Perfect. Perfect.
So that's it for my callback.
Shook, update on the car?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
He wet sanded it. Sent me some.
That's
pics.
good. That's sick. How's it look wet sanded?
I didn't do anything. It looks great.
It's still progress.
He was like,
Yeah.
check this out. And I went, God damn. That's about it. And then I fell asleep. I like went to go do stuff with the motor. And then I just, because I can't do everything. Like I need the heads because of the way that you seal it. Like if I do the oil pan and the timing cover, then I get fucked for when I put the heads on. You can't seal it without everything there.
Right.
You can do whatever you want. It's not going to seal anyway.
That's true. I'm so nervous. I'm gonna put this thing together, get it all painted, start it. It's gonna spray
care how
from
you
every
fucking
hole.
do
Yeah, dude. It's dude. I don't know what these guys are like. Hey, just glob this shit. No,
Two tubes of fucking RTV later.
everywhere. Like for the intake valley, I'm like, oh, there must be a gasket for this. I look it up.
No, they just build up like a 1/4 inch of fucking silicone on.
Yep, and then you push it down and torque it to a spec. Let it harden for 24 hours. Finish the torque specs.
And then good luck getting it back off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pry bar.
Dude, I had to hit my shit with a hammer to get the intake manifold. Every bolt was out. I was smashing it with a dead blow. And finally it was like,
Can I tell you something nice? LS gaskets all reusable.
oh, dude.
Never. One of their fucking key traits is they never leak oil.
See?
Very rarely.
The one that I found on Facebook for a price was leaking
Well,
oil. But
they do leak oil when you pull them out of a fucking like old ass-
shithole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like
Suburban.
they're very good at it.
What is your? Are you at the point of like, all right, here's my list. I'm gonna.
no, I
chip
know what I'm going to
away.
do next. Yeah, I know like my next steps, but realistically, I'm going to do it like in order. Like once I get the motor, it's like, okay, I don't like this, and this. Change that before I can't. Okay, I'm going to do the next steps like this, and this. Change that before I can't. Like I know like the exhaust is going to be modified so I can not hit the ground with it. I want an air intake box this time so it's separated.
So
for when it
this is
rains.
why, again, we joke, everybody jokes, but this is why, like,
It won't be done for the season.
yeah. It just
But I want it to be done the first time. I'm not trying to fucking take it apart, do this, take it apart, do this. Like
Yeah.
maybe one or two things if it's like really important, but there's how I envision it in my head. Like there are some things from Honda I want to pull in. Like remember the old ARC intake box for B series?
Yeah, I would love to have one.
100%. I
the
want that.
arc ones.
I want the
Yeah.
exact same intake made by Nils in my engine bay. Done. I don't care what
Yeah.
it costs.
You should buy.
This is a drift car, right?
Yeah.
It is that. So that's the other thing too. It's like I try not to. Man, you're wild.
I mean, if it gets hit, it gets hit. But like, I want it to. Look
You
good.
won't feel that way.
I won't. But Right now I do. I don't care. I mean, like, that's part of building the car. Building it for something. Like I said, I'm going to take pictures. And then if it gets fucked up, I'm like, well, it used to look sick.
You probably won't care after like the second time it gets hit.
Yeah.
The first time you'll cry.
Yeah, the first time
You'll
it's
act
gonna be
cool
like,
on the track, you'll cry. And then after that, you're just like, fuck it.
Yeah, if somebody hits me, you know what I mean? If it's like, if everybody's, tandem and having a good time, if you have a cage, and you get tapped, it's like, that happens. If it's like complete negligence, like somebody's just being a dick and hits you,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I guess I suppose it's like how you get it.
Yeah.
And hopefully more on that cage stuff next week.
Just came out.
Yeah.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Literally, I just got the notification for it 1 minute ago.
Updated PDF
That's next week's stuff.
next week though. Yeah.
I
So
just
get your questions ready for next Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm good on. I mean, like I said, I'm good on it getting hit. It's in the fashion of which it gets hit. It's whatever. Like I can get another door.
Nick Ard does have something that you toyed with.
Yeah,
Even a little while ago.
I do want to get a party car, one that I just don't care about.
What is a party car?
Where you just
Every Nissan 350Z.
every 350Z. Because all right, same argument with the Subaru. Like, I'm sure it's a great car for other people. I would treat this car like I hated it, which I do from day one. I don't even know if I changed the oil. I would just fucking.
Well, that's just
I would destroy this fucking thing.
That's just negligence.
That's yeah.
I would.
that's-
Yeah, exactly. That's what.
but that's not no. To what?
Bang doors, baby.
Yes, sure.
That's where you try all the stunts.
Yeah, but you can
Get
change
close.
the fucking oil still.
Maybe.
God.
Maybe I will.
We had a 40-minute discussion about why cars are too expensive, and this guy's over here. Fuck it, pop that motor. I don't care.
yeah, it's
Drain the fucking oil.
VQs
Yeah.
burn oil so fast, dude. You just change. You add oil.
Yeah.
Maybe change a filter once in a while.
Josh, we haven't progressed on yours. We haven't set a date yet, have we?
Have not set a date. I have progressed on the acquisition of parts.
Acquisition of parts is always big.
Stud kit, got it.
Stud kit, nailed it.
Yep.
I saw it. ARP.
Yep.
I didn't know you're balling like that.
I'm not. I'm not.
I saw those. I'm like, well,
I just
There you
had to do what
you
I had
did
to do.
like the bull nose, like rounded.
yeah.
Wheel studs?
Yeah. Just I forgot what actually no. I forgot what the length is. Big.
Long.
For wheel studs?
Yeah. Not quite Lexington steel, but they're
Yeah, it's
Not
always good
girthy.
to go ARP. Why not?
yeah. No, I know.
Oh, no.
They were
Yeah.
honestly they weren't too bad.
It eliminates the you over tightening a bolt and the wheel flying off. on
Yeah.
entry.
Yeah, which is great.
ARP everything, man. Flywheel bolts,
Yep.
header
They
bolts.
do make very good stuff.
Yep.
I actually need to talk to you about America bolts because
I got ARP bolts on my flywheel and my headers
that's where I want to go.
and a couple others.
And I probably want to go Allen for the header. Are yours Allen or you got the
On the headers? No, they're 12.10 mils.
my dude? I can't get the mine with a fucking. I can't even change the spark plugs without taking the headers off.
My old headers were like that on the fucking gold truck. Nightmare.
I don't want
nightmare.
that. That's
That
I don't want that.
I've learned along the way, but yeah, those fucking headers were awful.
At the track, I'm like, I think I have a misfire. Should I check the spark plug?
Oh yeah, you were
I
dealing with
can't.
that all the time. I remember.
You know what it was? Spark plug wire.
Melted?
Hey,
Because it was
arcing.
too close to the header.
I literally burnt all my old fucking plug
Yeah.
wires from
Yeah.
my old headers. Yeah.
Swap that bad bitch out. I put boots on them. But dude, just to change this, after I did the tune on the dyno, I had to take the headers completely off the car just to do the. And I was like, I'll never do this shit again. Screaming, throwing shit.
Yeah. Been there.
Now I'm
sounds
doing
good.
it again. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I also
Acquisition of
have
parts
seat bracket coming.
Seat
Nice.
bracket coming.
Nice. Yeah.
That's good. We'll get that bad.
and that's
lariat.
all I need realistically.
I was gonna say, I think you're at peak like acquisition.
Yeah, I'm
And
done
male
acquiring.
performance.
We're done acquiring, which is great. So now it's just the install phase, and then somebody who's handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Weld my diff.
Oh, I thought we were talking about a blicky.
Yeah. So you gotta just gonna have it welded up.
I'm just gonna weld it. Yeah. I was looking at the packs and stuff like that, and there's a lot of. Some people say it works, some people say it doesn't. It's just like what I know works for what I
Welding
want to
it.
do. Just welding it up
it's not that bad.
Can the diff come out of the car, or do you want to do it in the car?
in the car.
Okay.
It's not too bad on those in the car. There's plenty of room back there.
I think my understanding. I just drop the fluid.
Yeah. Hose it down.
Hose it down, clean it up in there. Exactly. And then obviously there's specific points where it needs to be welded. I'll let an expert do that.
I've done 2 LSDs and 1 Chevy rear end. They're really not hard.
Okay.
LSDs are tough to weld, no?
You have to fucking take the thing apart. It sucks.
Yeah, that's why it's like you don't.
There's a Mark III Supra.
Oh,
I
okay.
did 2 of them.
Yeah, welded is. I drove Larson's Mustang, and honestly, it's not. It didn't feel like BMW welded diff driving.
Awful.
Not fun, dude. The axles are like the fucking diffs back there, like,
They sound like Dylon.
dude, it's so bad, dude. It's the car's bucking and shit, and it's like you're like, what the fuck is? I drove Larson's car, straight axle, shit just turns.
Right.
It's wonderful. It makes cool noises. You get the little one tire chirp. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's cool.
Sounds like an
Hope that there's sand on the ground. So
sounds
it's
like
just-
an airplane landing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't drive an E36 like that.
So not gonna wrap the car.
Not gonna wrap.
Not
No?
gonna wrap the car. No. Decided against it.
Did the gas tank and you were like, I'm fucking.
I'm out.
I'm just it was one of those I can get really angry with this and have it probably not come out how I want it.
Yeah.
Or utilize what's
Say,
there,
fuck it.
make some decent stickers to put on it, to run it that way, and
I
then
like that color.
go from there.
I
Yeah,
bet you buff that color. It looks sick.
it's gonna grow on me, I think. Actually, and I've not even really washed the car yet.
It's gonna look different with, height change, wheel change.
It'll look,
It's
it'll
gonna
just be
really
completely
kind of
different
take
looking.
a different shape.
Yeah, yeah. We'll make some cool, like
Stickies.
perforated window stickies for the
Okay,
rear
okay.
windows and stuff like that. Got some good ideas for those things.
Hey, so is your seat cloth or leather? I can't remember.
OEC or when I purchased.
Purchased. Oh, and I
Cloth.
have. Don't let me leave. I have a thing for you.
Okay,
Don't forget.
cloth. I will do my best. Oh shit, I forgot.
How cool would it be?
I forgot to get money to pay
Yeah,
for it.
that's fine. I don't think he cares.
Okay.
How cool. I was talking to Sam about this, but you know how you can cut vinyls for the car?
Yep.
Why not cut iron-on vinyls for a seat? You could put designs on the seat.
Good.
Could for sure.
Vertex wheels.
Could do that.
You can make your own. Not a Vertex ripoff. I'm saying
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can put your own.
But
things.
I can't. I don't think I could get down with a heat transfer vinyl on a steering wheel. Like steering wheels, if
It
you're
might-
gonna have something, it's got to be properly sewn.
Oh yeah, so
You need the stitching. Yeah, that's what-
embroidered.
Yeah,
Either way,
yeah,
the seat vinyl's probably pretty cool.
yeah.
I told Sam, he's like, I could put flames. I'm like, of course, that's what you're going for, the flames. Yeah,
Seat covers off, and if it can lay flat, yeah, I can do it.
yeah, just press it on.
You can definitely do it.
It'd be cool actually.
It's a good idea.
actually
I was
be
like, wait, just like
Yeah.
deep thought.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it. So yeah, that's stuff's acquired. We now have a date. We know which date the
What
first
is the
event
date?
is.
What
March 18th.
Won't be there.
So, and again, not to harp on you,
March
but somebody
18th.
in the Facebook, I think it was on the Revival Facebook.
Oh no, Instagram.
So they posted, Josh, just to let you know, first event's March 18th. Shook, just to let you know, last event's November 18th.
Yeah. Then I asked him what event he was going to. No response.
Okay.
So you hiding or you riding? That's all I want to know.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
All right. So yeah, that's it for the paddock talk. I forgot the
That's
noise
all right.
this time.
Are we ready to give some shit away?
Yeah, let's do a giveaway.
Do we need a random number
Do
generator?
the B for B? Yes, if you could cue that up.
Do we have a cooler random number generator?
I don't know.
Oh, what's
You're the
the matter
one
with
whose
that one?
job is to find it.
Cool random number generator game. Random number generators online. Stopwatch.
I don't know how many people ask for the cool term when it comes. Oh my god,
Brother.
I think he's looking-
Fourth from the left.
This one?
Well, we can only
Yeah.
go max of 100.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We need to.
Lame.
We need at least 2.
I like the spinning wheel.
I think the spinning wheel worked.
All right, we'll go.
It
I mean,
spun
I just
a little
thought maybe,
longer.
you know,
Also, you said game. It's not a game.
random. I mean, it is.
Right, this is life, bro.
Wheel.
It's not a game.
What's this one? Let's try the one right below it.
Oh, it's just it's got the full. What is it? CMYK
Yeah. I don't
or
know.
no? What the
That was
hell
a
they call it?
100
What about
too.
this one? We'll try this one. This is the last one I'm checking.
Yeah. Let's just try. A bunch of different ones we never used.
While you're
before.
looking,
I'm just curious.
Live.
we'll cue everybody.
This one's
cue
not loading.
everybody
We're gonna
into-
go with Old Faithful.
It's not going to load. Well, it's time to discuss B for B. What is B for B, you ask? It is what we call Bucks for the Boys. If you go to our website, revivalmotoring.com, you will find our coffee, some other stuff for you to purchase, as well as a spot where you can put into your cart a subscription where you can choose $2, $5, $10, or even $20, and you can manipulate those any manner you would like. What does this mean? Well, that means that's how we keep the lights on in this place. Yes, we have merch for sale, but one thing you'll notice is we do not have ads at the beginning of any of our shows on the Revival Motoring Network overall, as we used to. Why? Well, that's because we didn't want to be, we didn't want anybody else to have any say. We want to say what we want to say, when we want to say it, and we figured the best way for that is to have this subscription-based system where you, the people, help chip in and keep things moving. So that is the B for B, value for value system. Like I said, the only people we are accountable is you. With that said, sign up on our website, revivalmotoring.com. Each month, the first Wednesday of every month, pick a winner for the B for B to send a gift basket, if you will. A
gift box.
Charcuterie of gifts.
Charcuterie?
What's another word for
A gaggle of gifts?
Nice spread. Gaggle.
A
murder of geese? No.
A murder of gifts?
Murder of crows.
A poo-poo platter of gifts.
A seafood tower?
There we go. This is the kind of brain thinking I need.
A gift salad.
A gift salad. We put together our best gift salad, and we send one lucky winner a box with some swag from Revival Motoring, as well as some other handy-dandy things to help you in your life, really. Matter of fact, that's what this box is going to be. This next box is going to be an everyday carry box.
Everyday carry quality of
Things
life.
that could be helpful. Might be a little flashlight, might be a little notebook, could be a pen that can write on everything forever. All that sort of stuff, again, mixed with some Revival stuff. Tossed in there for a lucky winner. On top of that, all of the active B for B subscribers will receive some things in the mail from time to time, whether it be stickers, postcards, air fresheners, different things that we will randomly send to you throughout the year. So, with that said, today is the day we pick the next winner.
Today is the day.
So let me pull. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, how do we know how we're doing?
How do we know?
We have a system called Bucks Per Listen, BPL. The BPL. And each week we have a rating to find out how we did last week. We send the information off to our buddy at the space station storage.
He's living out of there right now.
Yeah.
He feeds us back with our score.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he feeds his kids with the money we pay him or something, which is nothing, by the way.
Nah, no kids. Wife left him.
That's why he's living in a storage container at space station storage.
Yeah. And he has reported back to us on this fine afternoon of February 1st, 2023, that last week's episode garnished us 11 cents per listen.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Now, it has gone down slightly, but we are still in double-digit category. It has been quite a long time since we've been out of the double-digit category. I'd like to remain in double digits only from here on out. I would like to move to a 3-digit category at some point. It's big.
I would prefer
Counting
that.
thousands of the cents.
I would.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
I would prefer that very much.
Yeah, I think if we move to, it would be wild if we even got to a sense that began with a 2.
When it actually starts hitting bucks per listen, if you see 4 F40s out front, mind your business.
There will be signs. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't know that we're doing well, but there will be signs.
There'll be water in the fridge.
Right now, there's just some random jug of water in there. I don't even know where that came
If
from.
someone's Gatorade Zero, then I'm definitely going to go drink.
Yeah.
My microphone won't smell like man.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that water in the fridge just makes me laugh because it's like, oh, somebody going to the gym after this? That's what it is.
Staying hydrated, man.
That's that bottle of water in there.
Are you talking about the Gatorade Zero or the water?
No, the actual Poland Spring.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Poland Spring that could fill a fish tank. It's literally like, it's not a 2-gallon. It's like the one underneath.
Is it one of the ones for a water dispenser?
Almost. It could be put on there. It could be.
interesting.
Yeah, it's not a 5-gallon.
It's a big old glug glug.
Yeah, it's a glug.
Like Josh was saying, on the first Wednesday of every month, we're going to give some shit away. He told you what we're giving away. We're about to spin Shook, set it up for us.
What do we? Yes, we did
Oh
it!
my god!
I've been spinning this for hours.
That is,
I set it to 69 and 420. That's a lot of numbers. We
and
got
it somehow
420,
got
dude.
420. That's you know what this is equivalent to?
Blazing it.
The DVD logo that
In
lands
the
in the
corner.
corner. Yeah.
Well, that's a great.
I can't believe that just happened.
Start at 1.
This goes to prove that this thing's fucking rigged anyway.
It is rigged.
We got to go. Just put 175.
Oh, hello.
Wow.
There we
Okay.
are.
Boom.
There
Boom.
we go. You want to give us the? Oh wait, let me see if I have a.
I went, I'll rip the wheel, Bob.
Yeah.
Do I have a noise here?
Taco Bell. Boom. Oh, wait, probably can't.
I don't know.
Can we do a fart?
Oh no.
5, 4,
Nice.
3, 2, 1.
Wrong way.
Wheel is spinning.
Let's see what we got
Wheel
here.
is spinning. Keep spinning.
Was that from Doom
slowing
or
down,
Still
Quake?
spinning.
slowing down. Number
103. Let
Who
me
is
go
the
to
lucky
my
winner this month?
handy dandy chart, and that lucky winner is Paul Star Wars.
Yeah.
Paul Star Wars.
Paul Star Wars.
Local Lock City guy.
Yeah,
Big 302 guy. Big 240 guy. Big cool guy.
big cool guy.
Big
great
cool guy.
Great driver.
Big great A driver guy.
Yep. So
Like H.
yeah, he's the winner. We're gonna put together a nice little package, send it his way. I'll be reaching out to him. Big shouts to you, Paul. Congrats. I'll reach out to you to get your shipping information. Actually, no, I should already have it. Never mind. Forget that.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to you to make sure I don't need anything.
Guy.
Let you know.
Perfect. Paul
Big
Star
don't
Wars.
need anything guy.
I'm recording it from here now and for forever.
Hell
Paul Star
On
Wars.
Hey,
this
he's in the
day.
chat. Whoa, I'm that guy.
Oh, he is that guy. Look,
Hey.
and there's the car.
There it is.
With the engine in it.
Amazing name, Stang 1282.
Goddamn right.
So shouts to Paul
Tell me
Star
this
Wars.
horsepower that fucking bad sucker put down.
Shouts to Staying 1282. Winner, chicken dinner.
Oh, man.
Tune in next month, which just happens to be
Hey,
on the 1st of March.
That countdown,
Yep.
I know somebody's going to know this. I don't think it's going to be Tim Connors this time. Is that from Unreal Tournament or Quake?
I have no idea. It just is labeled Countdown.
It's one of those games. Somebody help me.
It definitely sounds like it could be.
Quake. Yeah.
I think Quake. If my high school computer science class
I,
pans
yeah, I
out.
told you anything. We used to play Halo and mine.
Yeah.
Ooh, I wonder if this has any Halo sounds.
Oh, I forgot to put it back to this.
Oh boy, it does.
I had it on the. It was showing the screen for the. Thank you. What if you type in "holy shit" into your little play button thing? Does it give you Unreal Tournament? Holy shit!
I don't know. Josh is new. I think it's a little too many buttons for you.
There's
here.
a lot. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I think
What's
it's a
the
little too
first
much.
one?
Can you favorite some?
It was Unreal Tournament. I reign supreme, baby. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Phil pointed at each other.
That
I was
is
like, yeah, that's it. We touched.
That's
Yeah.
absurd. That is absurd.
God damn, I'm good. I fucking
right.
love that game, man.
Well, it's
All
always
right,
nice to get
so-
some shit away.
Yeah. So congrats to Paul. We will do our next giveaway on March 1st, which just so happens to be is this a leap year? What are we? 28 days from now? 29 days from now?
Yeah.
Is it a leap year?
I don't know.
No.
I just wanted to say that because I
28
never,
days.
I never know how many days in February other than 28.
25% of the time you're gonna get that right, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, tune in before then, but on March 1st, 2023,
Yep,
on a
we'll be
Wednesday,
doing another
we'll
giveaway.
be giving more shit away.
Can you save those?
Save
The
what?
buttons?
If
Can you like
we-
favorite them?
I think so, but I would need to create a login. I haven't quite got to that level of comfort to.
Something tells
to-
me Josh found this 10 minutes
Is
ago.
that just a
I
bunch
found it
of? Are
yesterday.
they miscellaneous colored buttons on the
Yes.
screen? I had to block that for school because kids were playing like fart noises during class.
I can see how they would.
Wet Fart 3, hilarious. If that's the same site,
Recorded on his
Wait,
fucking
listen,
phone.
is there Wet Fart 3?
Ooh. I do not see Wet Fart 3.
Is there Wet Fart 2? It could be off a number. That's not it.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
like a fart item.
here's one I recognize.
That's good. I think it would be funny if if we released some crazy news and you just played "Holy shit" and we're like, "Wow."
The idea is to have this,
It's from the guy in the back. He just heard the news.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming how many sounds there are.
Yeah, it's a funny sight.
And some of them I have to watch because I believe some of them are like actual songs.
Yep.
So I don't want to do that.
A lot of inappropriate ones in there. Again, if it's the same site that I'm thinking of.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some everybody will recognize, like this one.
That's a World of Warcraft reference?
Don't know where it's from. I just know. Actually, it is, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Upper Blackrock Spire. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying.
Sorry, pal.
I don't.
I'm only one here. Who knows?
No, I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about, actually.
I hope somebody DMs
I
me
haven't
about
for like
that.
the past
If
5
I've
minutes.
ever received a call back on this show, that's the one I want to hear about.
Yeah.
I love that rap.
Yeah. I'm learning this thing. So many
It's
things.
learning you.
It is. This might take over.
Python.
Let's keep this train rolling. News.
The news.
Smoke weed every day.
Oh man, the only way that could have been funnier if you did the after it.
I have none of that stuff copyright protected.
That's why I want to be a little weary.
All right, yeah.
So that's why music, not so much.
No, if you
Although
slow
I
it
just-
down by like, that's how you get away with it. If you slow it down a little bit, right by the old algorithm catching it thing.
Till I snitch on you guys.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, put it
Till
this
he
way.
reports it.
Yeah.
There's other shows much larger than us
Oh yeah.
that use not this. I don't know if it's this exact one, but they use all these sort of sound bites all the time.
Are there any AJ sound bites in there?
Excuse me?
Bury him in the water.
Oh, geez. I'm
Those-
sure.
Those
I'm sure.
would be key.
What?
That might have been wiped from the board.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, really just kind of taking them out there.
Yeah.
What do you got for news?
There isn't too much news, so it's going to be pretty brief. I don't know what Josh has pulled up there.
I have 3 little things,
All right, hit me with one.
4 little things. Lamborghini Aventador replacement rendered after leaked design patent. So obviously the Aventador is going to be replaced. The design patent was leaked, and the nerds got together and pieced together what this thing should actually potentially look like.
Where can we find that?
Motor1.com.
Of course, Motor One.
Lamborghini.
Aventador replacement.
Oh god, don't look how I spelled this.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I was gonna judge you.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we
There
go. You got
Boom.
Good job.
So it's a
The exact
Lamborghini
same looking
Aventador.
thing.
It looks like a Lamborghini.
Yeah, it looks exactly like the rest of them do.
You know what's funny? Did I tell you guys that the Civic X, the Civic 10th gen Civic body style was modeled after the Aventador?
No.
Would you believe me if I told you it was?
No. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, because you're gonna prove us otherwise.
Yeah,
so
because
I'll
you're
believe you.
just like my Coca-Cola thing. You're just leading us down that fun fact.
Yes.
Wait, you didn't say Type R.
Well, the same with the other, because there's EU lights, but if you look here
Yeah.
and then you look here,
So it has an intake in
Big
the front.
vents.
Big grill.
they copied the whole front
Big
like
honey.
bumper setup, kind of. I don't know. I read this somewhere.
Okay.
So take what you want from it, but
Yeah.
there are EU front things here. Let's see.
I mean,
Civic.
It's also just
EU.
like the modern design language.
right. I
for
was just going to
cars.
say, like,
Like,
if you
everybody
could
kinda
say,
does it.
so did the Toyota Corolla.
Yeah, I
Or
guess so. But like,
Camry.
see this action where they put the little thingy in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then there's
I'll buy
fog lights that do that as
This
well.
goes back to like we were talking about the rear end of a car that like you can.
You can
It
put-
looks like anything.
Yeah.
That's true. But like literally, Civic was like, yeah, we modeled this after the Aventador. So.
Tell you what,
You
there's
want
some
to be
kid.
speed, you gotta think like
There's
speed.
Yeah,
some kid who went out there and bought a Civic.
Dress for the
being
job
like-
that you want, not the job you
Yeah.
got. You know what I'm saying?
There's some kid who went out there and bought a Civic and was like,
Aventador.
Yeah.
Aventador.
Yeah, this is
It's
basically
my Lamborghini.
Many other Civics. All shit. This one, Aventador.
Yeah. I'm 6 cylinders short, but
Boy, that's.
Oh, see,
fucking
like the back
ugly.
here, it looks like a new BMW
It
M4.
looks like a big fat pig.
Yeah, it looks like a big nostril.
Yeah.
like the M4. Yep.
Yeah, that looks bad.
yeah, it looks like a BMW in reverse.
Let's hope Lamborghini's actual vehicle looks better than that.
I mean, is kind of I hate to use a term, but like it's kind of like fuckboyish. The Lamborghinis are. I mean, they always do a good job with their design.
I'm sure
No
they'll figure
shit.
it out.
Yeah.
What's
What'd you need? We're moving quickly. 9 p.m.
there was
9:30.
a
9:30.
thing right below that had like something with the Lamborghini Aventador, but it was like in camo. So yeah. No, Nick R, I'm not going to bring up the GTI and bring a trailer because there's no proof that it actually sold for that. Just because the auction said that does not mean that's what it actually went for.
Right. Just because it closes at that.
Yeah, where'd you hear that?
Is that
The internet?
actual how Bring a Trailer works?
I have multiple people who have sold cars on there, and what the actual closing was is not what it actually left for.
They're the conduit to make the connection, but it doesn't always guarantee that connection gets connected. Turned on, if you will.
At that rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
who's to say?
Yeah.
They're making people shake hands, but that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It looks pretty on the internet, but there's
I'm about
no...
to make some bids tonight. Then play with some money.
So that's what we
I'll
were
take that for $65,000.
Yeah.
Best
That's
I can
what
do
we
is
were,
tree fitting.
Playing it like it's Cutthroat Kitchen. I'm just throwing out money.
it's fake it's monopoly money.
Fuck it.
So Corey and I were talking about that off mic earlier today. There's no repercussions if anybody does that, as far as we know.
I don't know. I don't know.
About to
if
make
there's
a law.
I
warning.
think
Tonight.
the perhaps the community polices itself, maybe, but I don't know.
I don't know if your account gets a strike. I don't know what the
Yeah.
deal is, but from like actual people who are real people who I've talked to that have sold cars in there or tried to sell cars in there, that price doesn't always mean that's the money that's exchanged hands.
Now, are you trying to be vague on this on purpose, or
No, we just
No,
didn't
no,
want to
no,
talk
no,
about
no.
it.
No.
so? Just really
I'm
quick,
not.
like say I put a bid in for $65K on this car, you accept that, and then it goes for me to actually give you the money, and then I go, I give you 40.
Obviously,
That's how that
obviously
works?
the seller could be like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Right, but if they were just like, fuck it, I'll just do it because we're already this far.
There's no way.
That's a far cry. I think you probably work your way down the chain a little bit to people who bid it up with
Yeah,
you.
just go
Yeah.
like the next.
So we're
bid.
talking like couple percent.
Well-
Not like I offered this guy $100K, I got it for $100.
And
Okay, I thought you were saying they were scamming, like something
no,
like that.
no.
Yeah.
And again, like you can get to the promised land, right, and have an internet handshake, but something could happen overnight.
Yeah, like I
I'd be
have my
like-
fingers crossed, bro.
Hey, man, lost my legs. I can't afford this car anymore.
But I do have all of it except for like.
Or no,
another
I'm just
10
saying.
grand.
Said winner of auction has to just back out.
Oh, true.
Which,
Yeah.
You know that could
It's almost
legitimately
like
happen.
it's a
as well.
silent auction.
In a way, it is because it's on the internet. And no one,
right.
you're behind a screen name. No one really knows who you are.
Yeah.
So in a way, it is. It's just when it closes at that number, it's like it doesn't necessarily mean that's the actual amount that's exchanging hands.
Yeah, it could be. Well, depending on the car, it's plus or minus. We'll call it 5%.
Because it also like what goes into a lot of this stuff too is that people are paying that much are then also gonna now have someone follow up. Now they're gonna go look at that car and have someone kind of go through it and then nitpick it and it's be like, I can't do 87 anymore. I can do whatever.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
so you
That's
do,
a lot of money.
You
to
still
just
have time
gamble.
to go look at it and then do it.
Oh Jesus,
Yeah.
I'd hope. Well, eBay's not like that. Like when you buy a car,
Yeah,
like you
sight
buy it, you
unseen.
buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You bought it,
so now
and if you didn't read the fine print on eBay, you get fucked. Because I've seen somewhere it's like a whole picture of a front end of a car, and it's like this is not the front end of the car. It's just this one fog
Oh
light.
yeah.
Also, it's cracked.
Some
And
kid
people
was-
are like just bought a whole front end for $1,500. Fog light shows up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've seen that. There was a thing about like some kid was selling like just pictures of a PlayStation PS5, and in the
Yes.
description he was like, "This is not a PS5. It's
just the picture.
just a picture." And they were like $500, and he sold like 20 of them or something like that.
I love the hustle.
Yeah.
I respect it. Hey,
yeah,
I don't
for
knock it
sure.
at
guy
all.
runs one of the most
If you're
successful
stupid
businesses
enough
now.
to fucking buy it,
Yeah.
That's the guy that runs Bring a Trailer. Probably.
No, the people who run Bring a Trailer are unfortunately very smart.
Yeah.
That guy was pretty smart too.
Yeah,
Shit.
very, very smart. So, quick one I have here.
Yep.
Ford to significantly increase production of the Mustang Mach-E in 2023 and then reduce prices across the board. I've been seeing a lot more of these. On
How much did they reduce prices, Corey?
They reduced prices, I will tell you. What model are you looking for, Josh? Are you looking for the Select E
The
all-wheel
GT.
drive? Oh, the GT. Well, they reduced the GT by $5,900.
Ooh,
That's a good amount.
That's pretty significant.
That's not a small amount. If you're looking for the standard all-wheel drive, standard range, only $600. Not a
Here's-
big delta there.
Here's a crazy thing. How about if you were that guy and 8 months ago you wanted a Mach E GT and you walked into there and paid $6,000 over MSRP, and now they lower it.
I would demand free oil changes on my EV.
It's just like you have to own your decision. You gotta own
I want
it.
at least a
you
pair
just
of
can't
floor
Give me a
mats.
gas card.
Yeah.
I don't want my carpet getting messy on our way to dinner where you fuck me in the ass.
You got to own your decision that you bought it at that time and space, and like that's
Yeah,
what you
you-
wanted at the time, and like there's got to be. You can't always go back. It's like,
Right. It's what the hell is that term? Fuck.
Pandora's box.
No.
buyer's remorse.
No. It'll come
Sometimes
to me.
you crank that soldier boy. Sometimes that soldier boy cranks you.
Yeah, sure. That's
Yeah.
the one. It's exactly what I was trying to think of. Not hindsight. I can't remember. When you look
Yeah,
back
hindsight's 2020.
looking back at something you did, it's like, okay, yeah, that would have been great, but
Yeah.
at the time, it didn't matter.
You needed a car. You bought the car.
Yeah.
And now the car's cheaper. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I don't have an actual percentage of increase of what they're expecting to output.
I think that
more
would,
vehicles in 2023, but the price drop is pretty significant. Like I said, I've been seeing way more of these on the road. I know that towns in Massachusetts will be using them as either municipality vehicles or police vehicles coming this year. So I don't know. If you live in the state of Massachusetts, keep your eyes open for a Mach-E that it could be a police vehicle.
I've seen them.
Don't let them get you.
I see one almost every day, and it's not the same one.
Yeah, they're pretty common
Is the
now.
Mach-E hybrid or battery only?
It's EV.
EV. Battery only.
So that is going to be interesting for police to be using that because
Not really. That's one that makes the most sense to me.
Concord, Massachusetts.
it does make
and Acton,
sense.
Massachusetts use Tesla Model 3s.
The idle time on these cars is insane, though.
Yep.
Because I do IT for a few police departments,
Mhm.
and those cars do not turn off
Nope.
for the most part.
Right.
But it's in
For
EV,
like 18
so
hours.
it's always
Which, I mean,
it's not idling.
Yes, but they're using laptops.
Yeah.
They've got modems in the back for internet.
Yep.
They've got all kinds of shit running in there. Radio.
But how much
bars.
do they drive? So you're saying idling, so they're clearly not driving a lot.
They're not driving, no, but something
the-
is charging the battery.
For sure.
no, at that point, you mean depleting the battery.
Well,
oh,
in
yeah.
this case, depleting.
Yeah,
In their
when they're
case, with
sitting-
a vehicle that runs on gas, it's charging.
Yeah, when they're sitting at idle.
In one day, if you've got a car that has a 300-mile range, but you are in a town that's called Concord, Mass, which is not a big town in Massachusetts, you're not going to drive
No.
100 miles.
No.
So you have 200 miles of range to
Yeah.
use to power stuff.
For sure. I'd just be curious to see how much all the other shit
Yeah.
drains.
I'm
You're
sure a lot,
running a mobile computer workstation. And
essentially.
So these
Internet.
have 70 to 91 kilowatt hour batteries. You could, and I'm not going to do
We
this
can
now
math
because
that,
we're
yeah.
terrible with math, but you could do that as to how
Figure
much a
out.
laptop pulls over an extended period of time,
Yeah,
all that sort of
there's
stuff,
tons
just
of-
to find out the drain, and that's going to be variable. And again, why I think this makes the most sense for municipalities and government, entities, because it's going to go.
cut down on town gas prices.
It's going to go back to the ranch every night for the most part.
Yeah, because dealing with municipalities, like, you don't realize that how much gas they buy a day for all the
Right,
vehicles that
right.
they have. It's insane.
Yeah.
Fire trucks, police cars, town officials, whatever.
Yeah, it's again, and,
DPW.
I have no issue with these EVs being. I don't want them to be forced on us, but if they're used in the utility vein,
Yeah,
sure, it makes plenty of sense.
Make those guys use them.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, we get to do fun car shit.
Yeah. A matter of fact, I didn't pull this up, but everybody should go to the Drive and read our friend Peter Holdress, one of his latest articles of how, yes, basically to summarize, yes, EVs can help, but he's yet to find an EV that brings him the same joy as a internal combustion car,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Well, these people are robots. They
And
don't
people
need to
keep
feel
saying,
joy.
"Oh, it's the joy is there, the joy is there," and he just goes, "What? Tell me what the joy is."
Yeah, make me feel the joy. I'm
Right.
not feeling it.
Right.
Ask
Exactly.
You gonna
nicely.
tell me how to feel joy? But in all honesty, lead by example. If you-
gonna come.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Uh,
Make me feel joy.
Joy me, baby. Sorry, Corey. Did you have something to finish that?
No. Take it. What else you got?
That's
pretty much the extent of
a few months back, and I'm sure the loosest fast boys will cover this. But a few months back, Ross Chastain's, remember his wall ride pass that
Yeah.
everybody's seen in NASCAR?
Yeah.
NASCAR has now officially banned it.
So what are they banning?
So let's see. All right, you want to get into it?
Are they banning passing?
No.
Are we talking about the wall ride? I missed it.
Yeah.
Are they banning continued contact with the wall?
The edict was handed down as a part of NASCAR's rules update for the 2023 season. The series saw no need to introduce specific new language to cover wall riding passes. Instead, NASCAR has indicated that such moves will be penalized under existing safety rules. The relevant section is rule number, and I'm sure the Luce's Fast Boys are very familiar with these rules, but rule number 10.5.2.6.a.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah, I figured. This states that safety is a top priority for NASCAR and NEM, NASCAR Event Management. Therefore, any violations deemed to compromise the safety of an event or otherwise pose a dangerous risk to the safety of competitors, officials, spectators, or other are treated with the highest degree of seriousness. Safety violations will be handled on a case-by-case basis.
Who was injured when he did that?
Nobody. That brings potential for
That seems stupid.
No,
everybody.
I'm not a
to-
NASCAR fan, but I'm kind of with that rule. Like, he did it once, he shocked the world.
He
or
got it.
whatever. But if you had someone doing that every year,
Think
at,
about
like,
how much
right.
more entertaining it would be.
Oh, no, completely
it's
agree.
like WWF or UFC fucking
Hell in the
NASCAR.
cell.
This
brother.
is
Yeah.
tune-in television. However, in what they're saying with that rule, or again, rule adaptation, in the future, NASCAR officials will issue time penalties to any vehicle that attempts an unsafe maneuver like Chastain's.
Oh, but that's a gray because now they could be like, oh, unsafe. And then somebody gets taxed.
Part of the problem, right? Once
Overreach.
you start the ticky-tack, like the NFL,
Yep.
which is rigged, #Bengals, it gets ticky-tack.
Holding. 10 yards.
Exactly.
You could just say
Number
whatever.
78.
That- brother.
You want?
Yeah. What is it? You know what
I
this
don't know
is?
what the-
You know what this is?
He just didn't travel. Travel.
That's safety.
I don't watch sports. Go sports. You know how you stop them from wall riding? Put bumpers on the
Take
wall.
down the damn wall.
Yeah, exactly. We have another country build the wall around the NASCAR.
I don't know. I get it. I get the safety aspect of it. No one was harmed, but I get people can be harmed. But it was also really entertaining.
I get.
And also, there's an element there that like you can't just do that at any time. So there's strategy.
Right.
Isn't it cool that it only happened once and you'll never see it again?
No,
Kind
Really?
of.
I kind of
no,
like
because
that.
I want to see someone try it and fail.
Yeah, stuff their
Now,
shit into
right.
the wall and ball
Now
it
you
up.
can have blocks.
I want to see
It's
someone.
way cooler too that it worked. If someone
That's
tried
way
that and
cooler.
it didn't, and then it got outlawed, it'd be
Right.
like, yeah, this guy's a fucking ding dong.
Look at this
But like
asshole.
now, you're like, yeah, all right. Like, remember that? This will go down in NASCAR lore
Oh,
forever.
yeah.
forever.
That's true.
That guy's a
Yeah.
fucking ding dong.
What I heard, I heard someone call someone a fuckface today. God, what is classic underrated?
Timeless insult.
What's the? You know what the other
Hey,
one?
fuckface! I'm like, oh. Blew me away.
That's great.
The level of delivery to it.
I
So what was
enjoy
he
it.
asking from you anyway?
I
That's good. That was
I
good.
enjoy a good smooth brain.
Smooth brain is
brain.
What
fun.
a fucking smooth
I
brain.
miss, like, I think you've been following, but Bam Margera's all back. A little unrelated.
He's kind of back.
He's
Dare I
he's
say-
back. He's
dare I
back
say
on his bullshit.
touching.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he's not good anymore.
No,
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 no, he's
Apparently, his Instagram's gone, and he got banged up last night. Posted about how he hated Johnny Knoxville again.
Oh my
And Steve was like, "Brother, I can't help." Sorry, dude, I can't help you. You're dying. However the fuck he talks.
That's the last I knew. Steve was really trying to help him.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, he just had a 9 Club. If anybody watches skateboards,
I want
The
to watch
9
that.
Club was unbelievable.
It had him, Jess, April, and Phil
Phil.
all in the same episode.
yeah.
Oh wow.
No
yeah, I
veto.
got like 10 minutes in. No veto.
I wanna
didn't
watch
watch
it.
the whole thing.
It was really good. I listened to the whole thing. But anyway, what were you saying?
Their banter, dude. When they were like, "You fucking ass," you know, they would say that Philly stuff. You fat fuck, you know, with the just the shit that they said. I was like, God damn it, I want to be them when I was like 14.
Yeah.
Now, I'm very happy I'm not them. You know?
Yeah,
Hanging in there.
they've been pretty all right. Although I'd like to be Steve-O. He's crushing it.
He's doing well. 6.5 million followers on Instagram. I'd say he's doing all right.
Seems like he's holding it together pretty good, which is good.
I get his stories quite often.
Tesla Model Y steering wheel falls off
Nice.
while driving
Perfect.
1 week after delivery.
Awesome.
That's all I got. I
Yeah.
don't care about the rest of it. I don't need to know.
I mean,
just read the headlines and leave.
Broncos tops are doing it. They just felt left out, I guess.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bummer, but here's the thing. It's like, to what level are things put under like a different level of microscope for Tesla stuff.
The scrutiny for Tesla is everybody.
Like how many times they magnify?
How many steering wheels didn't fall off?
I just take their production numbers from
I would
last
hope
year
all of them, but
and subtract 2. So like a lot, right? But it should be all of them.
Well, that's the what is that term? Suck a dick once, get a reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They better not suck that dick again.
It seems like they did twice this year.
It's just strange though. It's like they bought it. No one felt that the wheel was loose ever. They were just like, yeah, this is what it feels like.
That's the problem with the people purchasing these cars.
Direct delivery. Oh,
So now they're going to make every Tesla
that too.
salesman just fucking jar the wheel to make sure it's good.
It's just the people buying them maybe are a little more unaware. They're maybe buying more of an appliance than a vehicle.
Look. How many Teslas you see at gas pumps
Oh, I saw. Yeah, I sent a video
that
to the
are
chat.
not a joke?
I sent a
I've
video
never
to the
seen
chat.
one. I would pray one day I get to see one. I see it all the time online.
How the fuck could you make that mistake?
There's a video going around. There's one girl trying to put gas on a Tesla recently, and it's funny. But I hope one day I get to see someone do it.
My question is, if there was somebody in the chat room who explicitly did work on Teslas for a time and did know the difficulty in which it would be to loosen a steering wheel on your own,
Wait a minute.
maybe they did that and they can confirm.
Yeah.
The person in the chat that I won't name.
I think there's multiple.
Maybe they don't work there and they just know how difficult it would be to loosen the steering wheel of a Tesla. Because there's no way that it was just tight enough to last a week.
But if it's like any other steering wheel, it's got splines on it. And so that if the nut isn't tight and then it's just on the splines like that.
You'd feel that.
No.
You wouldn't feel that?
Have you ever felt a steering wheel on the splines?
Yeah, my BMW, I pushed around for like months, but you could move it forward
Okay,
and back.
how old's your BMW?
It's old.
How old's a Tesla?
It's new.
So the tolerances on the shaft of the Tesla, let's
No,
presume they're a little bit tighter than your fucking 4-year-old
but
BMW.
You couldn't steer it looseness, but you can pull it forward and backwards a bit.
Yeah, but I don't get in my car and yank the thing off.
I do. I'm fat, dude. I gotta pull myself in.
I mean, I suppose. I think you're really overestimating the
Knowledge
average
of
person giving a shit about anything.
But think about it. That's an easy claim to be like, yeah, dude, my wheel was loose. You almost killed me. I want this Tesla for free.
This dude just says, family was excited to receive Tesla Y delivery on 1/24/23. Was driving on the highway and all of a sudden steering wheel fell off. Was lucky enough there was no car behind and I was able to pull
that's
off
also
the
saying
divider.
That's also presuming they have a typical spline.
Yeah, that's true. And also, how does it just fucking fall off if there are splines?
He was fat trying to adjust himself in the seat.
He just went like this and just fucking threw it into the back seat. And he was like, Jesus Christ, kids.
Mute my computer just in case. I just want to see because I don't want to hear this dude.
That's, I don't know, man. It seems.
I can't say I see splines.
I do
Something
not see a
smells fishy.
spline.
Yeah, so it could not be. I mean, I don't know the
No, but you would
construction
think
of Teslas.
your daily truck splines, the van you drove here splines, like
For sure.
you know,
Splines
like
are timeless.
BMW, same thing. But like, who knows if Tesla did something a little different?
Yeah, I
could've.
don't know shit about their construction. I do, harking back to what someone just said, I forget who, I do think they receive unfair scrutiny, and I'm not a Tesla fan by any means. I don't even really like EV vehicles, period. I've driven a couple that are pretty fun, but everyone is like under a microscope, like what are they doing wrong?
Because it's the future.
Yeah.
And they're trying to push it, I think, is why it's under scrutiny.
Are they?
It's gonna be the
this
past
shows
so
a-
soon.
I
All
mean,
these
and
companies are
manufacturers
like-
they're making them because they're selling them.
Oh, no, that's
Yeah.
Hyundai.
I don't think it's being pushed down your throat. Like you have to get rid of your yet.
Yeah, but they're making it seem like that's the way. I don't know. Some people are like, oh, I'm not going to do that. Fucking America. Like,
That's
those
the
things
thing
are
I
pieces
fucking
of
that's-
shit.
hate
but
about-
that's
oh my god,
different.
every asshole who's got some fucking ridiculous, lame, overused joke to like knock on EV vehicles. Like,
Thanks, Biden.
So
hey,
that,
dude, I'm not with it either. But just like, shut up.
but that's the thing is, unfortunately, Tesla being the cream of the crop,
Yo,
are
yeah.
going to get the most of that
Yeah,
because of that as well.
100%. Yeah, because they're like, I'm not going to go EV. Look, your fancy steering wheel fell off in
And
your
if I hear
spaceship.
one more person telling me about how lithium's worse to mine than for oil, which be it true or not, it's like that's just like the quintessential. You've done no research. This is the one fact you've heard. You're fucking hanging on this forever.
Yeah, you're
never
in the
buying
echo
an EV
chamber.
vehicle.
You
That's
gotta
it.
die on that hill.
Yeah.
Die on
Oh
it.
my god! Like if you hate it, just be knowledgeable about it.
Jet
you know?
fuel melts steel beams. You fucking idiot. Damn libtard.
Yeah, exactly that.
Trump wouldn't be caught dead in that there spaceship mobile.
I got some like Rivian news that a listener actually sent over.
Yes.
and it's just kind of like a little inside. While we're on the topic of EVs, a little inside scoop. He says, "Hey Corey, bit of a callback to episode 236 when you guys were talking about Rivian having to deliver a few thousand vans to Amazon, and you mentioning how they might get bought out."
Sorry, but this just reminded me. I finally seen one of the Amazon.
Oh, have you?
I've seen like
These
two
on
or
the
three
road.
of them.
Wild looking. They stand out.
For sure.
Yeah.
The rear ends are like this molded giant like roll up door. They're
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
wild.
I have seen that.
Yeah, that's a Rivian.
The front eyes. Yeah. What the fuck am I talking about?
Fucking
the
eyes.
headlights really
Fucking
stuck
eyes
out.
on
to
this
me.
thing.
Yeah.
I got to put eyes on them.
Yeah.
They did. They put eyes
What
on
are
it.
they saying?
Confused the hell out of Josh.
Oh, you mentioning that they might get bought out. I've been building the assembly line for the new GM EV Bright Drop vans for the past 7 months, and I've noticed quite a few parts of the front suspension for these vans are shared with the Rivian trucks. Among a few other things I've noticed as they've been bringing parts in for production to begin. So just from what I've seen, I think there's a good chance that the Rivian delivery van may just be a
Rivian
rebranded Bright Drop, or GM may just purchase Rivian outright.
Interesting.
Wow.
Now this is I'm not gonna put. Why the fuck did I say his name?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna attach his name to anything here.
Yeah.
They're also planning to retool the plant that he's building next year for some shorter 18-foot versions that would be perfect for smaller, like city prime delivery stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He says no idea if that's what's gonna happen, but I think you guys would find it interesting. And then he thanks us for the podcast. So no, thank you for your little insight. I didn't include your
big
name,
shouts.
but I appreciate it.
We could all just say that the Rivian is the coolest EV though, because it has a fucking grill in it.
Not anymore.
It's an add-in.
You gotta
But
buy that, yeah. But it has the body hole.
yeah, you could do the grill in there. That's the coolest fucking thing, dude. You were the king with the CRV fold-out table in the trunk. Now you're the fucking king when you. Who the fuck wants barbecue, bitch? And then you slide this fucking thing out. Get out of
I
here.
thought you meant like an actual, just like a front of the car grill.
No.
And I was
No,
like,
no.
That's,
Have you
that's
seen
hype?
it? They slide. There's a barbecue grill that goes through
It's
a
like
hole in between the cab
Like
and
an
the
RV.
$5,600 add-on. But
Worth.
It's induction cooking.
yeah.
$5,600
Yeah, that makes
for
sense.
clout, baby.
With a sink.
It's
And,
cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice setup.
The whole
Dude,
camping
imagine
setup.
towing the drift car to the track, slide that fucker out, eat some dogs off your Rivian. The fuck out of here.
Some dogs.
Some dogs.
Glizzy Goblin.
The way you said that.
Some dogs.
Some fucking dogs.
Corey, you said Rivian might be sold.
No, so what he's saying is that the Rivian truck van is sharing parts with another GM EV van.
Vehicular.
Because we often bring up the fact of, seems like a really good company. Concepts are really good. Vehicles seem really cool.
Design is good.
Right. Design is wonderful,
branding.
especially for, again, the EV work.
Yeah,
It's not the
yeah.
fucking Cybertruck, but they lack with production. I think one of the astronomical numbers was like one truck a week or something
Yeah.
absurd.
When it first started, it was laughable. It was a
Yeah, it was-
handful of trucks a week.
and
It's
just,
way up now, but nowhere near.
They need to twist some snakes.
Yeah,
Right,
where they
exactly.
gotta be.
yeah.
Similar story to Willys back in the day. Like if you have like a Willys Jeep, Willys was a brand, and they got a contract for the government to start producing their Jeeps for like the World War I or II, whatever it was, and they couldn't keep up with production, so they sold the rights of it to Ford. And Ford was producing them, but they were like, we don't want to do this. And so then Ford was producing the Willys, but had a Ford stamp on the back of all their Willys. And that's how you know if it's a Ford Willys or not.
Yep.
And then Ford was like, we're done with this. And then they sold it to Jeep. And now that's how Jeep ended up with the Jeep Willys. But
The
Willys
Willys.
was originally a brand well before that, sort of like how this is.
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
out.
It seems like it should play out in that manner.
Yeah.
Especially for them to either not stay relevant, but either grow or however it might be.
Yep.
But we continue to we know there's some ties with Amazon, whether or not they would buy them out, I don't know, anything like that. But
That'd be the company.
it's just interesting
Or
to
to buy a football
hear
team.
Looks like
Or this
that
podcast.
Bezos
Could be.
get that
Quarter-
Bezos coin.
Q1 of
Bezos bucks.
2022 were 3,000 in production
42
per
Ford,
month.
Yeah, that should be the Ford Jeep and the Ford Willys.
Did it have a machine gun on it, Tim?
Like I'm pretty sure Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but like all like the hinges and everything like that, Ford was like, we don't want to fucking make these things, but the government is telling us to. So if we're going to, we're putting Ford all over this thing.
Yeah.
And they just they just like punch some Ford logos all over the thing.
Which is such a smart idea.
Yeah.
Just branding is there. So whenever people get home, if they did, they had Ford in their mind.
This fucking shit brought me through foxholes in the bulge, baby. Buying a Ford Jeep thing, Willie.
That's exactly what they said.
Exactly what happened. There's a guy that actually drives one around my town with a machine gun in the bed. I don't know if that's legal. Doesn't seem.
Don't
like
ask, don't tell.
Yeah, just ripping that shit with American flags and a big old MG42 in the back.
Sounds like none of your business.
Not a big EV guy.
Yeah, no, that guy.
Yeah, see, every bolt head had a Ford F on it. I knew it was something like that.
That's cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
See,
fucking lame.
That's you absorbed
Hate
100% of it, but you were able to output
Yeah, I was
like
out there.
80%.
Bro
That was a
code.
layup, you know?
Yeah.
Bro code.
Yeah, they push those Jeeps around historically. I think they
Yeah,
hid behind
I
them
think
more than they
so,
drove
too.
them. They didn't
They
have
use them as
302s
target
in them.
practice.
Yeah.
Speaking of 302s, I think is it time for our main topic?
Sure.
Let's dive in.
Let me boot this bad sucker up.
All right. Wow, you're starting it right now. What if you have a problem?
Yeah.
It's on.
Okay.
I just have to find the document.
Oh God. Oh
Oh.
God.
The best is you didn't mean to do
I
that.
didn't mean to do. I just.
Oh God.
I said, oh, God.
Oh God. Oh, for the love of God.
So, this week's main topic. We've all seen them.
Dude, look at the size of this
I
thing.
know it's a
It's a
gigantic
17
laptop.
incher, dude. It's thick because it's got a gaming graphics card in it.
There's so many holes.
Airflow, baby.
Wow, a laptop that still has an Ethernet port is
You have to have an Ethernet port if you do IT.
That's when
Yeah,
you
for
all my-
LAN parties.
All my
Yeah.
fellers holla.
That's where I thought he was going.
Why can't you just get an adapter? Like
That's trash.
I run.
You don't want to deal with drivers on the go. What if you're in a closet and you don't have internet and you can't get the drivers for it?
It just goes into my USB-C and I plug the internet in there and bing, bang, boom.
Yeah,
If it's aftermarket, it might need drivers. You don't have internet. You can't get the drivers. Now it's not working. How you gonna
What
get
if
the
you set up the
drivers?
drivers ahead of time?
If you
'Cause
did,
you're
you're
using the same-
smart. You never
Because
know.
generally you're using the same laptop
It sounds like if
every
you
day.
did it ahead of time, you're good at your job.
one time.
Yeah, or you could
thing
just
and
not have one. You just have the Ethernet port. It's just better, you know.
So what if you don't have
pretty
a
culty
place with
ports over
Ethernet?
here.
I always do.
Okay,
It's got Wi-Fi in it. Come on, dude. Look at the size of this thing.
fair enough. It's got everything in it. So, what we are going to discuss today is you've all seen the posts.
Get it out of here.
You've-
That's not even USB-C, bro. It's USB 3.2.
My USB-C one's at work. This is my bag one.
You got a spare Ethernet cable?
Of course I do. Because I'm prepared and good at my job.
What do you need the Ethernet cable for? Setting up printers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Hit him on that. Hit him on that
I
fucking
love how,
webpage.
I love how you're trying to get him on something. What do you use? Set up printers? Yeah, actually, that's exactly what I'm doing.
I knew that's what he would
It's
be
my
doing.
job.
Yeah, I
it's
know.
my job.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got a little login page. What's the default IP on those bad boys?
None of your business.
Is it a 169 address?
It's not.
How does it get
Don't worry about
by
it.
default to 192?
Don't worry about it.
I want to know.
I have many devices
I'll
that
call
go
them
default to
baloney.
192. You've all seen the posts. You've all heard the term. I'm sure most of you know what an LS is.
People have told Shook to do it on here.
Multiple times.
100,000 million fucking times.
And that term or that post or that suggestion is always, dude, just LS swap it.
Just LS swap it, brother.
Just LS it.
Bro, just put an LS in there.
Junkyard LS. Quick, from a truck. Pop it in there. Done in
Now-
a weekend.
This is a good time for me to segue really quick. Does it trigger you when somebody says to you, oh, yeah, just LS swap it, but what they mean is a truck motor, and that's technically not an LS?
No, I don't give a fuck.
But it's
because
not.
I'm, if someone's gonna go like deep into the code, all right. So, before we dive into that, just so everyone knows, there are true LS motors, and then there's Vortec motors. So, but
LS is aluminum, right?
typically, I think that's how it goes. So, like the LS1 is the second generation, the LS6 is the first generation, and then it was LS3 I believe is the third. And then LS7 is the fourth. They kind of jumped around on the numbers, kind of like to match like the Z06 Vet and all that.
And when they say LSX, X just means any of those LSs, right? Or is there literally an LSX?
There is an LSX block, and it's a 454 or 472, I think. Because after Gen 3 motor or Gen 2 motors, which are like small block Chevys, they moved over from cubic inches to metric. So that's why you have a 6.0, a 5.3, 4.8, 6.2, whatever it is, because there's no longer 383, 350, 305, whatever
What a
it may
fucking
Oh,
be.
wild time to be alive.
But when someone says LS,
what they're talking about is a 4.8, an LQ4, an LS1.
More than likely, yeah. So, I mean, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I know what you mean when you say an LS. It's LS geometry because they all share the same parts.
Yeah, it's all the same shit. But
the block is the exact same on a true LS motor, like an LS3 or an LS1, 2, 7, whatever you want, as it is with an LM7, which is like your garden variety truck motor that came in Tahoes, Suburbans, Yukons, Express vans, Silverados, everything. 4.8s are LR7s or LR4s. Those came in older Silverados, like 08, 09, or 07, 04, something like that.
so there's literally hundreds of thousands.
There's
of
L83,
LS.
there's LQ4, there's LQ9, there's a gajillion of them. But
and many of these bases components can be swapped.
every single one of them.
All of them.
Every single. The only thing that you can't directly take off of one and put on the other are Gen 3 to Gen 4 because they went from cathedral port heads, which are the intakes to the on the heads are literally shaped like a cathedral. It's square and then it comes up to a peak.
Yep.
In the Gen 4 motors, they went to rectangular port intakes. And so those you can't switch back and forth. If you get heads off a Gen 4, you can put that on a Gen 3, and then you just have to get a Gen 4 intake, like an LS3 intake.
Yeah.
And
Can
then,
you just port it to be an oval?
I mean, you might be able to. They make adapters even easier than that. There's like $100 adapters that you can literally, so you can run like a LSA blower on a Gen 3 motor with just like some adapters on it.
So,
But you change the angle of like the intake runners and everything like that. So it's more than just like mating two parts.
so that comment right there. This is why they're so cheap and good to swap.
Yeah.
The motors are cheap.
Yeah.
The motors
Or is
are
it?
cheap.
Or is it? Yes, the motors can be cheap.
Yes.
They
So
can
this
be
is
cheap.
This is what I wanted to say to you earlier. So for a little bit of backstory, Shook and I were kind of DMing back and forth to talk about these, and I told him just save the comments. I'll talk to you at the podcast to tell everything. But what motor swap are you doing that you're trying to make it as cheap as possible? Right now, are you trying to do it as cheap as possible? No, because
No.
your car's out getting painted, and you
Yeah.
want to put a cage in it, and you were just talking about hardline and the fuel.
I got a
Because
gauge, okay.
so this is what happens. Like, yeah, you can go pluck a 5.3 out of a wrecked Tahoe or something like that and put it in there very cheaply. Keep the stock wiring harness, keep the stock PCM, the
Yeah.
step water pump, the power steering, the intake, the manifold, the injectors, the heads, the exhaust. Use the exhaust manifolds, everything, and it'll look shitty because
It'll look
they're
like a
ugly.
stock shitty ass motor.
But you can do it for under $1,000 depending on your platform. Hell,
Yeah.
you could do it for under $500 if you're good with it, and depending on what you're putting it in.
Yeah, but I
and your
don't.
transmission and shit.
I don't want to have
So-
my whole car mint and then I pop the hood and it's a fucking. boat
So
anchor.
then
let's
don't
not
complain
even-
about it not being cheap because you want it to look like a fucking show car. This is my
Okay,
argument. So
you
you want to shit on LS motors and say they're like not cheap to swap, but like you want to put an LS6 intake manifold on it. You wanted to paint the block. You want to clean it down. You want to put a brand new water pump on it or a thin like.
Well, I
and
mean,
get a triple core aluminum radiator. It's
are
like,
you putting used water pumps and shit on yours? Or you buy all that stuff new, right?
See, I buy them new because I'm not trying to do it as budget friendly as I can. I have a little bit of comfort in that and doing that, but also you can buy a water pump at every fucking AutoZone for $40.
$40.
Like you can literally go to and get a starter for $50.
Motors are definitely cheap from a 1995.
I've
Yeah.
heard about that.
Well,
And you get a 2500 one, you get a 6-liter in those suckers too. You ain't get a 5.3.
So
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
So
the
ins-
kid got banned from U-Haul.
instead of using your car as an example, because you're
Well,
Mr. 302,
I'm
just
deep-
like Pitbull,
and
you're
I
Mr.
yeah, but I
302.
don't have motor loyalty. I don't care. My issue with the statement mostly is when somebody tells you, "Oh, just LS swap it." 90% of the time, the person that's telling you to LS swap it has never swapped an LS into a car, let alone swapped a car with anything.
I brought you a sticker.
Just LS swap it. I heard it's cheap.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's the perfect sticker.
But
Because everybody hears, "Oh, it's a junkyard LS. It's like $400." Yeah,
around here, because you go to California and a 5.3 is $1,000.
but even that's cheap. What
Bunch
I'm
of
getting
commies
at
out
though
there.
is like I can't run stock mounts because my car didn't come with that motor stock.
So that's the thing. It's very open to interpretation, but case by case basis.
how
It could be
mild
as
to wild.
crazy as you want it to be.
And that's the thing. It's like a lot of people we know that are swapping cars aren't do it to go run 24 hours of lemons to just make the thing run. They want to bring it to a show and open the hood and make
It's
it
a
look
project.
I
Yeah.
fucking
So that's
put an
when-
LS swap in it, kid.
Yeah, and so if you remember my truck, that's kind of fucking vain of me to think. When I first did my truck, I kept the stock manifold. I had the stock.
Oh, yeah, I
know
remember
had,
all that,
I had headers. I had the stock alternator. I literally just had it rattle canned. It was the stock wiring harness that was just thinned out, so it looked like dog shit. But I was so focused on just getting the truck running
Yeah,
that I spent like no money on that motor to get it in there. Like it's stock PCM, stock wiring harness, a factory transmission, factory, like just everything. It's
Yeah,
cheap as
how
I
it showed
could.
up on the pallet. is
And
pretty much
then
how it went
after
in.
I got it running, I pulled it back apart and then started dressing it up a bit. So you can do it. It's like again, depending on what vehicle you're putting it into, because GM vehicle or GM motors into GM vehicles is a lot easier, especially when they're rear wheel drive. But also any car, Miata, Jeep, boat, fucking anything. You honest to God,
Boats big,
people,
yeah.
people do big LS stuff on boats. They're gonna make mounts for it because it's been done before.
Yeah, there's tons of so when I was looking at mounts, like just right off the bat, like the cheapest mounts I could find, and I could be wrong, are $500.
So what's a 302 mount?
It was like angle iron, so I think they're like $200.
So you did it?
No, I
Oh.
bought them, but they were $200, and it's just angle iron versus any of the LS ones that I'm finding.
So why not just make your own?
They look difficult to make. It's not angle iron for an LS. It's like they have all these fucking holes and shit everywhere, I think, for you to line them all up.
I'd have to see what the mounts look like on a 302 because it's still a triangulated V8, and so the mounts are
It's
pretty much in the same spot.
2 bolt holes on either side.
They're perpendicular or horizontal,
So
or they triangulate down.
So there's 2 flat spots right next to the oil pan, kind of, I think.
Oh yeah.
And then you just have these 2 angle iron mounts.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
come
I
off
gotcha,
of it. They
I
do right
gotcha.
angles. Whereas the LS are like actual mounts because somebody over there was like, "We're gonna engineer this."
Yeah, it's 4 threaded holes in the block that usually.
Yes.
bolt
And
something
then
on.
there's like a plate that goes to that, and then an actual mount that actually gets bolted to the car. With
All right, so
actual
say
more
you
plates.
spend $300 more to get mounts, and then what?
So then you need, if you're gonna do that, like if you're gonna go LS and E36, then you have transmit. We'll start with transmission because it's part of the engine, swapping it into your
You're
car.
gonna pay that for a 302 though.
Yeah, but the transmission's $300. It's not a $1,500 T56.
So don't get a $1,500 T56.
So if you don't-
get a
so I-
T5, get
so
an AR5.
You could do T5 or AR5, or if I were gonna do this,
Also, what's the strength of what's the trans that you put behind the 302?
they're all junk. Unless you
So
do
you're gonna go
TK6,
break this thing and then buy 2 of them,
probably.
and so
mine's
now
fine.
you're at the price of
Mine's
a
fine.
T5.
But
Oh,
you can do like
yours is
TK6,
fine.
then it's the same price as T56. So it's, but like again, that's like what?
Or so the Collins adapter, I think is.
So I was curious if there was a plate.
There is, and I
Or that's
priced it
the
out.
CDO9 or 009, whatever.
CDO9, crazy.
The transes are going up in price, but the plate itself is like, it's quite expensive.
It's like
too. I think
almost $4,000 for everything.
No.
For the one that I found was like close to 4 for CDO9.
No, because shout out to Tubby. He had, he was building a 5.7, I think it was, and he had a CDO9 with the adapter plate on it. You basically just have to cut the front of the bell housing off. And just like,
yeah.
which seems sketchy, but like, who cares?
Let me see if I can find that.
I think
one.
it's like Collins.
There might be a
something.
cheaper one.
I think it was like
Injuku-
$1,000.
Injuku's the 1800.
All right, so you do that, and then you can run through $500 transmissions, no problem.
That's just a plate. Then you still need all the other
Yeah,
shit.
you have to buy the trans.
And and then if you
But
depending
there's
on
really,
what clutch,
I don't think there's any good, strong 5 or 6 speed transmissions out there that are worth their weight that aren't $1,000 minimum.
yeah,
because
all
you're
trans are gonna
running-
be-
There's no, even if you want to spend more, there's no
automatic transmissions are cheap because they put them in everything. Every
Yeah.
truck, express van, Tahoe, Suburban, Yukon, whatever had that transmission in it. There's manual 6-speed or V8 cars or trucks are like pretty rarity. So yeah, you can find like a wrecked F-body Camaro, but what I was telling you is that there's 2 Camaros. There's the LT1, which is the Crossfire shitty V8, and then you can get the facelifted Camaro, which has like the rounder, the catfish looking ones.
Yep.
There's two different ones, and those have an LS1 with a T56 in it.
Yeah, and you can find them, like I found one on Copart recently for like, well, it's zero starting bid. It'll probably end up at like $5,000.
Oh, that Camaro you sent
The
us?
red
Yeah.
one.
You
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
cherry pick so much out of that too.
Yeah, you can use the whole swap from what I was reading. Like you literally take everything out, harness, all the accessories, oil pan, pickup, all that shit. You just take it literally out of that car. You buy the CX Racing swap kit. You need a drive shaft. You put it in your car, and then you can run an HP tuner on it. You don't even need to do management.
So this is, I had a lot of questions about this too when I was first doing mine, is how do you get it to run? Like, how do you have an electronic transmission to also communicate with your, with the engine? Because those two have to work in harmony. For 90% of the applications that most people are going to do, a stock PCM is more than fine. If you want a couple bolt-ons, you want to put new heads, intake, camshaft, whatever, under 500-600 horsepower, the stock PCM is more than fine. If you're putting boost on it, nitrous, there's really no safety in the stock PCM. So if it leans out, a Holley Terminator X will be like, okay, let's cut the fuel or cut it off and like pull the timing off so it doesn't
That's
grenade
essentially
itself.
it's
A stock PCM doesn't know how to do that, so
Yeah.
it just, you'll probably fucking detonate one of the cylinders. Or
you
lean
can,
it or
with
whatever.
that Holley gives you
But-
the ability to put those parameters in.
But when you buy a truck motor, we'll say an L or LM7 5.3 out of whatever truck, you go off Craigslist. I just gave Corey one for reference. I paid $100 for that motor.
Yeah,
I'm literally
For
actually
the heads off of it, right?
I bought Corey's motor just to buy the heads off of it because, again, they're so interchangeable and they came on everything, that one combination of heads on this one and off of that one or onto this block raises the compression a full point, or these ones have bigger chambers and so they're better for boost, and everything is within a couple little bits of
it's like
minutia.
B-Series Honda.
Yeah.
Literally.
Except they make power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like
hey,
triple.
hey. We're not fucking with me tonight.
So,
I'm an innocent bystander.
but again, I'm not. This whole thing is not because I am against going LS. I would rather learn a cheap way to do it, so I don't have to hear from some fucktard, "Oh, LS swap it." I'm like, "Oh, what should I buy?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know.
So that's the
Just do it, bro."
In full transparency, when I bought my 68 the first time, like, I didn't know a fucking thing about
Your ass from your feet.
I didn't even know where my feet were.
Right, exactly.
And so I bought like a junkyard motor, but I paid a little bit more for it because I bought it from a company that pulled them and did compression tests on them and everything. And so
That's kind of worth it now.
no, I wouldn't do it. I would. And the 86 I'm building is literally out of a fucking wrecked whatever. I didn't even compression test the thing. I was just like, it's good. I don't care. I'll take it because
Fucking love
I pulled the
that
whole
shit.
thing apart anyway. But so with the stock, when you get the motor, get the harness, get the PCM, and now you don't need Holley management or anything like that.
Yeah, no, and you don't have to do so. Like again, so
If you're not running boost or a centrifugal or roots, whatever.
the thing is, like, yes, you can do shit super cheap like that. I don't think that many people, especially in my scenario, if you're gonna go and paint your car, you don't want a crusty wiring harness. Like I assume you're changing.
Yeah,
yours.
you're not allowed to talk cheap and be bitching about money when you're fucking doing that much to a car anyway.
I mean, I'm doing all the shit that I'm doing
fine
cheap.
it's fine to try to cut corners to get it as cost efficient as possible, but doing something cheaply in a nice car is just like counterintuitive.
Yeah, no, and that's again, that's why it's not cheap. Like this isn't a drift missile to me. Like I'm not gonna just build it just so I could go fucking hit things. That's not the objective. So I don't want a crusty stock harness where if it looked
That's
fine.
one thing I'll recommend to anyone that LS swaps it or does an LS swap. Spend the extra $500-$600. I'd prefer you not to get a cheap Chinese harness for like $300, but they're basically ripping off. I won't say the name of the company because I don't want to or promote that, but they've gone and bought a good harness off a nice American-made company
and copied it.
Fucking pin for pin, color for color, and now you can. I don't condone it, but you can buy a fucking $300 harness off of eBay. Whether or not you want to trust fucking 12 volts running through all those wires is another question. But
there's one thing.
But it's like $500, and so that way you have all new connections, and so you don't have to worry about a 20-year-old fucking pin coming loose, which happened to me.
I have a stock 302 harness in my car, and I don't think there's anything wrong with doing a stock harness, but like I reloomed the whole thing and cleaned it up.
Yeah,
It
but
just
the
really
wire is still
depends on-
brittle.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
all those connectors are still like the soldering is cracking and all those fucking pins are coming loose.
Yeah, I had to I have
I
two
did it.
harnesses so I can replace
I did
plugs
it.
when I need to. But like, there is not a company that I found that makes one that's like, why am I going to go spend $1,200 on a fucking 302 harness when I don't even care about the motor like that? I'll just buy another stock one for right now. Like, that's an expense that on this specific platform I'm not willing to spend because like I said, I don't have a brand loyalty. Like, if I'm like, oh, 302 baby, it's like, I have it. I'm going to use it. But if somebody was like, here's a full case swap, put it in your car, 100% that fucking 302 would be on the curb. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Get rid of God's motor that soon.
Quickly.
Yes, Scott. Yeah, it had that he wanted. They was $7.99, right?
I have 799s. So I have both two 6 liters in both my 68 and my 86. They're LQ4s. I'm a big proponent of when you buy a motor, just buy the biggest one that you can afford then. Don't, because not for nothing, the 4.8 I gave you, I would personally never run because
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I gave it to you because the way you're gonna play with it or is not the way you should swap it because it's not the most cost effective way because you're gonna nickel and dime yourself buying injectors and coil packs and gaskets and heads and all that shit. But I always buy 6 liters because you get the best return on investment after you buy parts because like a camshaft that is rated to make say 60 horsepower in additional in a 5.3 is probably going to net you 80, 85 in a 6 liter. And so when you start adding that up, 2-3 parts, all of a sudden you've gained an additional 50, 60 horsepower or 80, 100, whatever it may be, versus if you were to buy a 5.3. So,
And you're doing the same stuff.
the exact same. And they're all, so the camshaft on a 4.8 is the same thing as a 5.3, a 5.7. The only difference is, again, Gen 3 and Gen 4, there's 2 different LSs. One is the square port, one's cathedral heads. One has like a 4-bolt camshaft and one has the 3-bolt camshaft. But that said, they all are the same core size, the same everything. You can same cam back and forth.
So,
but yes, 799 heads on my 68, and I have 706 heads on my my 86, just because I want to try them out,
Just for science.
just see what they do because they make different power in different points.
There's 2 comments in the chat. Quick Google search, $275 for E36 LS swap. You didn't click the link, clearly. And yes, Tim, there are Pennsylvania ones, but as soon as you pick the cross member for the transmission, it doubles the price. They're $500.
Build your own.
So you can build your own. And I could easily have these built in my shop, but we're talking if I'm not everybody could build their own.
Learn.
Okay, you could, but then you have to buy a welder.
Okay, so do it. So now you buy a $200 welder instead of a $500 transmission brace, and now you have a welder for life.
Well, like,
I'll talk shit because this is literally what I did. I was too cheap to pay anyone to do a thing, so I was like, I'm gonna buy my own tools. I'm gonna buy my own bandsaw.
How big was the toolkit you started with?
Like 200 pieces, and it was like a fucking play set from Sears.
all right, but you can keep building them now, right? So like you could, if you wanted to, you could go and make an E36 swap kit if you did it the first time. There's no reason why you couldn't build the jig and do it again. I'm not interested in doing that. I don't think many people are interested in building them.
I have no fucking. I don't want to build fucking jigs and production parts.
No,
either,
like-
but like a welder is invaluable to a garage mechanic.
And I have one, and I do have a place where I could cut the shit, and that was kind of the plan with the 302 to do it myself. But I'm looking at it for someone who's like, the E36 is an easy platform to swap. It's cheap.
Mhm.
Well, if you don't know how to cut this metal and you don't know how to weld and you have to pay somebody to make them for you, it's the same as buying them. So I just went for the cheapest mount kit that money could buy. And these are $475 and they're bare metal, so you still have to buy paint to paint them or have them powder coated, or they will rust.
A $10 fucking can of paint.
Whatever, it still makes it $500. So the CX Racing one still takes the cake, in my opinion.
Makes it 40.
All right, that's fair. That's a fair point. I'm not gonna refute that.
I'm
You have
not
to buy
saying you
mounts.
could definitely do it cheaper. You
No,
can.
you could. This is my whole theory, though, is you can make. Again, anyone who's motor swapping their car, unless you're pulling motor A out and putting in replacement motor A, that's the only way it's fucking cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then all your bolts are the same, all your positions the same, all your mounts
Yeah.
are the same, your harness is the same. Everything is just one out,
Right.
one in.
True plug and play.
If you're swapping any car or any motor in, you're already making an investment to the car. And so trying to like nickel and dime it, yeah, I get it. Like everybody does that with projects, but trying to be like, oh, I can't put a fucking V8 in my car that came with a straight 6 cheaply. What the fuck?
Well, yeah,
it's
no,
like you don't get to do that.
Right,
Like,
exactly. But people saying the whole stigma, the whole shtick of this is like, why'd you do a 302? Because it's fucking cheap. I did my whole swap for $1,300, and all it needs is a little paint. Like I can't buy.
But what's the reliability? What's the drivability?
Right
what's
now,
the power performance?
It's great. The
Right
power,
not in the
wonderful.
car.
Yeah, not
That's
right
what I'm
now. Not
saying.
in the
Like
car.
there's a lot to like. It's an upfront cost, but like you gain it on the back end.
For sure. And
Because like a 302, is that carbed?
no.
That's fuel injected.
Yeah.
And so that's archaic fuel injection.
Yeah, but I have Mega Squirt, so updated.
So how much is that?
It was only $600. So like $600 plus the swap was $1,800.
And so you can get a motor.
Yep.
You can buy an AR5 trans for like $500-$600. You can get a junkyard 5.3. Literally, I got them as cheap as $100. I'm buying another 6-liter this week just to like put it on a stand, spruce it up, sell it down the line. I have just literally it came to me cheap, and so I'm buying that for $300, and so that's $1,000. Then your mount's $1,500. How
Then-
far off are you there?
So from that point, I did a bunch of other shit because
You need headers, but you need headers on a 302.
no. You run stock reverse.
Okay, so but you
Or-
still need to weld and exhaust, is what I mean. You can run the stock.
sure.
You can run the stock headers off of a fucking cast
LS.
iron. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. People flip them upside down and run them as turbos
Yep,
because
I've seen
because
that.
they're literally the. Oh, that's like a big thing
yeah,
because
you invert them.
What in the
and they go
American
up.
redneck is going on out there?
because the bolt pattern on LS headers or exhaust
Same-
manifolds are the same upside down. So people will take factory truck manifolds, flip them, and they're forward mount facing turbo headers.
Yep.
Dude, it's like a
Wow.
big. That's the thing about LSs is like I'm a fucking homer for them. I get it.
Yeah.
But they are fucking so easy to work on, so
Yeah.
reliable. You can beat the shit out.
All
I
the small
fucking
block
screwed
shit.
mine up, and like
Are they small block or big block technically?
technically a small block. It's technically a Gen 3 small block.
Dude, it's like when you see it and you think of people who are like, fuck yeah, motherfucker. And then you look at the car or the motor, you're like, I get why.
Yeah.
They're
Oh
awesome.
yeah, but
You got
there's-
two fucking monkeys fucking a football. Could put
They're
these things
also
together.
unbelievably compact because the block design, like it's not a Ford
You and I looked at it out there compared
Right.
to the Ford
Fucking-
V8
Right.
in his drift car.
because that's
Right.
double overhead cam, so your heads on it are like a foot long.
dual
Yep.
hawk.
It's
That's
dual
dual
hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
You
on
have it's modular.
and so an LS head is a pushrod engine, single cam in the core of the motor, and so literally the heads are the size of like a fucking book.
I can't
They're
put
tiny.
a Bigfoot's dick in my car.
no.
But you
No.
can put an LS in a Miata, a fucking
It'll
jet ski, anything you want to put it in.
A
it'll fit.
Volvo.
Yeah, it'll fit. And
I
so
have such a different like outlook on like what cheap would classify as. Like you like that car you said, the Camaro. Like buying that to me, even though it's several $1,000s up front, like having that car in its entirety that I can go pick over and get
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, that's the best
and
way
get it
I
all
think
in
to
one
do
pot.
it.
To me,
To start.
even though monetarily might be more expensive, I'm like it's cheaper.
yeah, but then because you can sell the doors, the dash, the seats,
Yeah.
and
Recoup
make
some
all your
stuff,
money
right.
back. Yeah.
Even if you got a couple $100 for the shit, you're
You'll
still
get way more because if
Yeah.
people that a lot of people, you'll pay more for the motor than you will for like the wrecked Tahoe or
That's-
something like
so
that.
that's what
because
I'm
people
always
don't
looking
want to
for.
fucking deal with a
The
car in the
car.
driveway
A
that they
crash
gotta get
car.
rid of.
which is
because if you
what I
can't-
told you me.
Yeah, if
I
you-
avoided going LS because I was like, I don't want a whole other car.
No, dude,
Where am
honestly,
I going to put it?
if on all jokes aside, if you want one at the end of this, I can get you one tonight for $200. They're fucking everywhere.
So
They're
like,
fucking everywhere. It's in California, guys are gonna scream at us because you're gonna literally pay $1,500 for an LQ4 over there.
I
They're
would-
so fucking cheap over here.
listen, after doing the research that I did and looking up the swap parts and stuff, it wouldn't be outlandish for me at this point to just sell everything that I have. Take that money, would pay for everything to put this motor in my car how I want to.
Realistically, what's your power goals on the 302?
I don't have one.
What do you think it'll make?
If I do heads over 300, under 4,
But even still,
So
yeah,
factory
a
LS.
stock LS I wouldn't even touch it. I would just let it fucking eat. I
Yeah.
don't care about the power.
Mine was stock for 2 years and it ran fucking great. I just got anxious and wanted to put a cam in it.
Yeah, like a cam would be cool. Don't get me wrong.
do you
but-
have to? I'd assume again for drifting, add some cooling measures.
So that's the cool thing. You can run stock E36 like radiator if you want.
Yeah.
Or you could do a Mishi, which I would do, and the Sicky stock rad adapter kit's $109.
Yeah.
All it does is give you some tubes to angle it at the stock location.
It's staying 1282. You know what? Actually, you won it with your B for B.
Yeah, I got a world class for you.
There
I
it
got
is.
engine management for you,
we
dude.
didn't tell you.
That's another thing. Like, if I truthfully could run a 6-liter on its stock ECU with just an HP tuner,
Don't even need a HP tuner. You don't need that.
it would literally just run.
No, you just get the
The- yeah,
fucking
he
factory the PCM.
But
That's
don't
how
you
the-
have to connect the engine harness to the chassis harness
And
somehow?
they literally
ignition
just
power. That's
so
it.
when everyone because
That's
you
not
come
true.
from the Honda world.
What do you mean?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's
What
just
do you-
ignition and power.
That's it. You come from the
That's
Honda
how the
world where your
Polos run.
standalone is like this fucking intense, like Honda, whatever shit.
Hey!
Corey's catching strays over here.
Hey!
With an LS, you literally
So much
get
crossfire.
So you don't have to wire in the fuel pump.
yes, but all that comes on the harness.
That's all in there.
So you got to go into like the X20 connector on a
No.
BMW for
No.
key on fuel on.
Maybe on a BMW, yeah. But so find where your fuel pump relay is or your fuel pump trigger, and on the harness. So when you buy, I'm gonna shut them up. PSI. That's the harnesses that I run on all my stuff. They're fucking phenomenal. All OEM connectors, very cleanly laid out.
And you just have to.
When you buy a PSI harness, you run it through the firewall, whatever your car is, and you plug in all your sensors. But the nice thing about those is that they're laid out exactly where they're going to be. So as soon as you lay that harness over the motor,
You get it.
your injectors, you go, okay, it's fucking foolproof. You're like, oh, these are my injectors. These are my O2s. This is my crank position. This is my throttle body sensor. This is my alternator. And you can tell them I'm running an F body, which is Camaro style alternator on the up left position, and they'll literally make the harness so that your alternator wire fits
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
there.
it's like a la
And so
carte.
there's no but it's $500, $600 for that harness. And then
It's cheap.
on the back side of that, so then you go through the firewall after you plug in all your motor connections, and you have constant 12-volt power, you have ignition, cranking, and fuel, and then your grounds. Those are your wires.
Okay, so
So
it
you-
is.
And
'cause-
so it has like a mini standalone sort of speak fuel box or fuse box to it, and it has like for like your fuel pump relays and like your ignition and whatever everything.
It's
in there,
exactly
but
how the Polo's set up.
It's,
So it's got the 1AT ECU
Yep.
with the fuel pump relays, and I'm trying to think. There's one other one over there, and then that is fed with ignition power, and then that feeds the ECU. So like essentially, like if I remove the engine and the ECU from the Polo,
it's just a stock.
and the
Polo.
battery was still in it, like it would
You still get blinkers, headlights,
everything would still
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
And
It doesn't
so
know.
You tie in the powers together either on the alternator or on the starter, because
the
then
glory
your
of old
your
vehicles.
your batteries your power is going to go from your battery to your starter to your alternator, and
Yeah.
so your chassis harness or whatever plugs into the starter or directly to the battery if you have it fused like that. I have no idea depending on your car.
That's a
And then your,
chassis harness question.
and then your PSI harness or whatever aftermarket harness you use is just ties into the starter, and then it picks up its power from right there.
Okay.
And so then on all the plug-in side, like that's where your power is, and then you literally on inside of the car, it's 12-volt constant grounds ignition.
So
fuel.
yeah, because I had to wire in the 302 harness. To the
I hate wiring.
X20.
I don't like it, and it's fucking brainless. It's fucking brainless.
Well,
It's
this
legitimately
kit, yeah.
5 wires to connect this thing, and every other pin is proprietary, and you can't fuck it up.
That's cool.
Like your injectors don't look like anything else.
Yeah.
And they're laid out in that harness that you can't plug in injector 1 into injector 7, so the thing's fucking going crazy.
Not like B series where the IAC could be the map, or the map could be a fucking coolant temp sensor.
Yeah.
The only issues I ever had with my harness is I relocated my coils, and so I took my harness apart, pulled the coil packs behind the firewall grommet, and repinned them all. And so when you're underneath the dash trying to figure, and you're just looking at them in a row, trying to figure out which one's coil 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, that's
4,
a fucking ass.
that's when it gets a little bit tricky. And so I've crossed those up before, and it's backfired. And then also the vehicle speed sensor and I think it's like the trans output sensor or something like that are the same plugs, and I had those backwards. So when I first did my gauges, I would rev the motor, and my mile an hour, my tachometer or my speedometer was going like this, and I was like,
My
ain't
speedometer
right.
doesn't work now anyway, or RPMs. It just fucking goes like this.
Also, the nice thing about LS is because it's OBD2, if you can't afford gauges like I couldn't in the beginning, I just got some auto meters. I did fuel, wire, or water and oil, and then I literally just got an OBD2 dongle, like a scanner, and then just had an old Android phone, and I would just pull it up and be like, okay, here's my tach, here's my speed, here's my voltage, here's my
That's
oil
cool.
pressure, everything.
So-
And even further that, the Dakota gauges I have both in my 68 and my 86 plug into that same port. And so I have a Y splitter. So my tuner, shout out to SMG, Freddie's awesome guy. If you're in the central Mass area, Mendon, Massachusetts, he's the fucking man with this stuff. He can plug into one side of the OBD2, and my gauges are on the other side, and it was power, ground, and blinkers, and I think that was it. And I have tax, speedo, water, oil, volts, everything.
Yeah, because I would imagine they come with oil pressure shit in the trucks, so you can just tap right into it.
Yep, it's on the back of the Valley pan, or the
Cool.
Valley cover, I'm sorry.
So, all right, so what is the comparative transmission to like a world-class T5, like your basic 5-speed, but one that's not a piece of shit for LS?
T5.
Still the
Yeah,
T5.
you can put a T5 on it.
Is it like a Tremec or something fucking like that, or whatever they're
Yeah, I
called?
think Trebek still makes those.
Okay.
But this is, I kind of dove into this while building my 86 or starting to get into it because they don't really make a lot of manual 5-6 speed vehicles anymore. And so like they're coming harder and harder to get. That's why everyone, and also I'm not a drag racer, but that's the kind of motorsports that I like. And so people love automatics. They want automatics because you can just, they're faster
You
to
build the
shift.
fuck out of them.
Well, you build
You
the
get
fuck
line
out of
lock
them,
and all
and
that
they're
shit.
faster. And so because you don't have shift times, and so people are trying to get their fastest CT down the quarter mile. They don't want to fucking shift. Like having a stick shift fast cars, it's fucking cool, but most people want money. And so the problem I was running into is that T56s are on the rise. Like they're $1,500 now for one.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything for less than like $2,000 almost.
Yeah, and so I didn't want to shell out that much money on a used transmission when
That's a huge,
just for a sixth gear.
But then, well, not only that, but then you buy that transmission, you need a new flywheel. That clutch has 180,000 miles on it. The throw-out bearing has 180,000 miles on it. Your synchros have 180,000 miles on it. And so that's when I was just like, all right, fuck it, I'm just going to buy a new one. Because my transmission, I have a Tremec TKX. It's like the 18305 or something like that. I think it's the close ratio 5-speed. Was cheaper than a T56, but
it's brand new.
But I also needed to buy a bell house, a clutch, a flywheel, a pressure plate, a throw-out bearing, a shifter, and all that shit that came with it. So it cost me more, but now
it's brand new.
I have a brand new Tremec 5-speed transmission for.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. But
and
and then in my 68, I have a 4L80E, which is a $400 transmission that takes 800 horsepower. So if you want an automatic, you can't because you drift.
No, it's got to
But
be.
if you want to LS swap it on the cheap, you can get a 4L60E, which is like their light duty transmission that came in fucking everything, and they're kind of grenades, but you can buy them fucking $300.
Yeah, I don't care if it's like, as long as it's okay. I don't need it to.
Get a T5. I mean, they're not the best transmissions, but you can still get them cheap, and they'll bolt directly up to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
And
Otherwise,
so you don't have to have an AR5 with an adapter plate or a CDO9 or something like that.
I don't want to go CDO9 for sure, but
So
I
get a
can
T5.
get, if I were to get a ZF, which I could get my hands on a ZF, the whole adapter plate with clutch, everything you need to install it is $1,600. So $1,600 plus $600 for a ZF, and then
now
it's
you can just run.
T56.
And now you can just run through $600 transmissions and never have to worry about it.
Right, and ZFs don't break.
Yeah.
So you saw.
It's also like I said, when you're
rocket
swapping
ship.
a car, there's a certain investment that you're making into it. You know.
Yeah.
Especially with the
And to
manual
your-
transmission.
and to your point with
fucking cheap.
with the 6-liter, like make that initial investment up front because you're so much better long term.
Because like I said, you're going to pay an extra, I don't know, $150, $200 for a 6-liter versus a 5.3. But then again, down the road, when you put heads on, instead of making 40 horsepower, or depending on if you get AFR heads and make 200 horsepower, you make 250. You know? And
I would rather
they
do
drive the same. They have the same blueprint, the same geometry, the same everything.
Right.
So what's a 6-liter go for right now on the street? Like what? That's the one that you're talking about picking up for a couple hundred.
$300 I'm buying it for.
So yeah,
That's cheap too. I don't want to put in like perceived notion that you can go out and just
go grab them. Right.
But typically in our area, so there's two 6-liters. There's an LQ9, which is the high output one, and there's an LQ4, which is the low compression one. People like the LQ4s, which are the two that I have, because they're like 9.5 to 1 compression for boost. People really like them, but excuse me.
I plan on staying all motor, so the high comp is fine.
What I did exactly with mine, bought a $600 LQ4, which is about the going rate for him. Bought a $100 LR4, which is the one I gave to Corey. Took the heads off it, put it on mine. Now my motor's 10.5 to 1 compression.
Yeah, that would be sick.
And so now I went from a 9.5 1 compression motor for $100 gained a full point of compression. So now, like to Josh's point, everything I put on there is multiplied by 1.5% for every power adder I put on it.
So that's kind of, but then, so I guess my doing all that, right? And so then you need to buy gaskets and this and that, whatever.
Yeah, but gaskets are like $20.
20, yeah.
At
so,
AutoZone.
So let's say you
Like,
do,
you don't have to go to fucking
No,
Pelican
yeah, I
Parts.
know,
Or,
I know.
there's nothing wrong
Or
with
have to
Pelican
worry
Park or
about
whoever.
ordering them.
so
for-
you do
yeah.
all, let's say you do all that. You get the 2 motors. Let's say you get it like
You just
600.
don't even do that. Just do one motor, because an LQ4 still on itself will make 300 to the crank. And so with a cam, like, you don't need to put new heads on it.
And that's something,
Yes.
right? If you're legitimately thinking about this, which I feel like you kind of are, at some point you can add things later.
Yeah,
on.
later. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
worried about doing it right away. So like, let's say I get the motor for 600. The cam's probably like $300.
Yeah, but depending on the cam, you need to match the spring lift on it.
Yep, spring.
And so you
rates.
can get a really, really mild cam and not upgrade your springs, your valve springs, which I don't know how informed everyone else is, but that's the actual spring that holds the valve open and closed and how much pressure, depending on the cam putting on it. And you have to match the lift of your cam to
with the
right,
spring pressure.
Exactly, because then you can either overshoot your spring and bash the piston, or it'll hang it over too much.
Yeah.
Exactly, if there's too much spring to it. So you can get a cam for 300 and keep your stock springs, your valve springs in there, but you're really not going to gain that much. So spend 500 and get hardened push rods, valve springs, and a cam packaged out to you.
Yeah,
because
$500.
everybody fucking sells them.
And that's cheap.
BTR, Texas Speed, Comp, Summit, Michigan Motorsports, everybody has them.
Texas Speed has my favorite names.
That's
Yeah, they're.
Yeah.
So can you get which motor is the 300 horsepower stock every time? Don't need to do shit except for like
crank or wheel.
wheel.
6 liter, depending on the car. 300 wheel in a fucking Geo Metro is a lot different than 300 wheel in a fucking
Big
Hummer.
old truck. Right, yeah. But if for this
Also,
to be
what's
worth it
trans,
to me,
because an automatic will take 30% of drivetrain loss, whereas a manual will only take 10 or 15. So wheel horsepower and crank horsepower are totally different things. And more and you probably want torque more than horsepower too.
yeah, the torque is big. Like my motor made like 280 foot-pounds and then 240
that's okay.
horsepower. And it's, dude, the car shredded for what it was. So
My torque curve is this.
straight across. Yeah.
Anywhere you need it, right there.
Right there, yeah. That's cool. But so like for this to be worth it to me, because ideally when I'm gonna do heads, it's gonna be no more than $1,500. Hopefully.
Heads on the motor?
Yeah, like everything said and done, heads, because they're like 1,000, and maybe I might do a bigger cam depending on what the guy says I should.
How much
get.
the heads net you?
The ones that I was gonna do are 1,000.
How much horsepower do they net you?
Oh, power, anywhere from, it depends, man, because
Just ballpark it. I'm not gonna like get down on you for it.
I would say if it made 240 now, I'd probably be in between 3 and 4, somewhere in there. It's
So 100
significant.
horsepower. So
Wait,
10 horsepower for
100
every
horsepower?
$100.
It's somewhere in it's somewhere like close to 100
Could be.
horsepower.
I mean, good flowing heads make a huge difference.
like if you get
they're totally different worlds. That's why I'm questioning it.
Yeah.
'cause I
trick
don't know.
flow heads or like what are they?
Is that
AR?
per cylinder or per set? Because a lot of time when you're looking at heads, you're looking at a per piece. So it could be $1,000 per head.
No, trick flow are expensive as fuck. The ones that I'm talking about, it's 1,000 for both. They're like
Okay.
a cheaper aluminum head, and I can't remember if you're supposed to upgrade the spring because that's like their shtick. It's like it's a good head, but the spring we just kind of gave it to you. So
You can also
I have
there's-
some good springs that are pedestal mount, so I don't need to worry about it.
someone referenced earlier in the chat 799 heads, and 7 that's the casting number on the heads.
Yeah.
And so there's this gets deep, but or it can go if you wanted to, but different motors come with different casting numbers on the heads, and different heads have different port sizes, different flow size,
Oh,
different
of
everything.
course, yeah.
And so 799s are the heads that come on typically truck motors, and 243s, I'll probably get this wrong, it's on an LS3, I think it is. And the heads are the exact same, except the valves, one's hollow, one's solid. And so you can buy LS3 heads off of a truck motor for, here's the thing, like you want to buy just the heads off of Craig or eBay, Facebook, whatever, and they're probably $300, but you can go get that motor for 300, take the heads, and then sell that motor for $300
$300
back
to get your money.
Yeah, so you can get them heads that will net you 50 horsepower for
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
so
have
it's
most of
essentially
these.
I could have sold the core I gave to Corey easily for $100. I got I saw someone the other day looking for pistons out of a 4.8, and so I literally could have sold those for $100. But
Yeah.
that's the nice thing about them is that any auto parts store, any roadside is gonna have parts for these fucking
Everything,
things.
yeah.
Everything.
It's like because
You can buy
literally B-series
lifters.
Hondas.
You can buy lifters at AutoZone.
Which
Are they-
is wild.
Are the lifters roller?
Yep.
That's cool. Okay. So yeah, so like
Factory.
literally all the motors that I had listed here, I just put free to 1,000 at the high end.
Yeah.
Because I always know that you could do fucking. So like, let's say I get that trans. What those trans are going for like $300-400? You said I could get the motor for like
maybe like 500. Someone just said they got an AR5 in the chat. Say, how much did you buy yours for?
Yeah, I did see that.
So
I
you
feel
could
like
get-
$600.
in a perfect world you get motor and trans for $1,000.
Yeah, all day.
Okay, and then I would have to have obviously the exhaust mounts. So I would probably just to fucking avoid the hassle and spend the money somewhere where I know that I'm just gonna get everything. Like for me as a consumer, something that's super easy. Unless I have Nils make me a catback and a header or setup, which I'm sure
Bring
he
in
would.
a fucking Meineke. Just, I mean, nothing against Nils, but bring in a fucking Meineke.
I was just
have
saying,
him
right.
weld on 2.5 crush bend. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
the
could do
difference in
whatever.
power you're making now, a 3-inch mandrel bent versus a 2.5, even 2.25 crush bent, is so minimal.
Oh yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to spend more getting your exhaust fabricated. I'm not trying to drive work away from this guy because he does really good stuff. I've seen him, but you're not making 800 horsepower where you need that. Fucking,
No.
Yeah, like it's not going to make a huge difference. So go
There's-
buy some Magnaflows and just get them welded on a muffler shop.
Yeah, you definitely can't. What I'm saying is like if I'm gonna do it,
LS3 or the 243 heads.
I would like it to be just one and done in this scenario.
So why can't it just be one and done with the fucking 2.5-inch exhaust? Because then you can't tell people they have 3.
No, it could be 2.5. I don't care the size. I just want it to not look like shit.
You're never going to fucking see it.
Ooh, what? What do you mean?
The exhaust?
Yeah, the headers are gonna go straight. They have to go straight in my car.
Okay. So you're not gonna get headers fabricated. That's a lot
Well,
more.
no,
than
it'd be.
fucking-
I'd probably go either stock header or like a cheap bolt on like a couple $100 one.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. Like the exhaust work. Like you're not gonna see the exhaust. You'll see
Yeah,
the
just
headers.
to finish it off, just beyond the headers.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you're gonna see that Y. Don't you see the Y?
depending on the car,
I would imagine at E36 you're gonna see the Y because it goes in front of the car.
maybe. I mean, but so you get a headers and then they just
Regardless,
Depending
like,
if it's 8-1, I don't know that many people are gonna make a fucking 8-1 header. If they do, it's gonna sound ripping. But
yeah. so Sicky makes headers and Y, and then I could have a catback.
a Y
blade.
pipe. Yeah, so that's the 2 headers collecting into one.
Yeah, and it's like not expensive.
Y pipes on LSs sound really fucking good because you have 2 different banks of cylinders firing, and so you can have true duals, an H pipe, an X pipe, or a Y pipe, and the Y kind of like
I'm a
merge
big
those.
H pipe guy.
Big
Yeah.
H. I got an H on the 60H because there's no fucking room. But Y's kind of like merge those 2 sound waves together, and it sounds really, really fucking good. I love a Y piped LS car. They sound really good.
Maybe it's 6 racing
The
that had 'em.
AR5 you had a question about.
Yeah.
What did he say? He said looking to pick one up for 500. Got a price from a junkyard.
There you go. So
And
there's your 5-speed transmission. That came
then-
out of a Colorado. And the Solstice, I think, has them too.
Yeah, and then buy a broken set it as well. Yeah, AR5 is the way to go. And then he
Yeah,
said
the AR5 is like a
400.
very, $400. It's a very common like manual trans swap if you want.
So essentially, you would also need, depending upon what AR5 you found, the components to complete that as well.
Yeah. So the header and Y pipe swap kit, just to make everything super fucking simple, is $1,000. And then I could have my catback put on it.
You could. I'd have to see like what the room on the E36 looks like, but you can buy fucking off-brand Chinese headers for $100 and then just literally weld a Y pipe to it.
Yeah, it just depends on how they're routing these because it looks like these ones actually go the correct route. Like they go back. They don't go forwards and back.
Yeah, I'd have to, that's vehicle specific.
Yeah. Yeah, they go forward then back. Or sorry, they just go straight back and then Y around whatever transmission and shit you're using.
$250 and come with stainless headers with V-bands. You can't even buy stainless steel for that cheap.
It's
No.
insane.
Honest to God.
Some of the stuff that you can buy, like already made and done, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, so like I would,
I'm pretty sure the Solstice came with it too. I know Colorados have them. I'm pretty sure the AR5 came in 2 cars, not just the Colorado. I know that one for sure, but I thought I could be wrong. This guy looks like he's shopping for one, so he probably knows more than I do.
Looks like he's shopping around a little bit.
yeah, so like I said, like that stuff is where I don't mind spending the money, especially if you're gonna see it, because I'd rather.
The
just
other
look
thing
nice.
is like you're gonna get a motor that makes really responsive, reliable, dependable horsepower that isn't gonna leak.
I was going
That
to say
you
with
that is
minimal repercussions.
Ultimately moddable forever.
Yeah.
And like they're fucking 20 years old now and they're still being put in
Yeah, and
everything.
there's
Like
millions of them.
the science or the engineering behind them is still like
So
Gen 5 motors are much better. I'll give him that.
the CX Racing kit is the engine, the T56 mount, which you can swap out for stuff,
Mhm.
the headers, the Y pipe, and a catback for $2,000, which is a decent deal.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then
I think
could
if
buy
you're,
the harness.
I think that's a realistic budget to put on something too. If you're trying to put a motor that's not even close to designed for it in another car, $2,000 for like just to get it back in there is realistic.
So that $100 for the stock like radiators thing, I still need to buy a radiator. We'll call that like 500. So right there with the motor, these swaps, that shit, you're like rough 35. And then I would just factor in another $1,500 to $2,500 worth
Miscellaneous.
of miscellaneous
Sure.
bullshit. And you're still, I mean, you're probably close to like 6,500, $7,000, which is what I imagined it would be. And that's like not
Maybe.
doing a built motor, not doing like crazy trans.
Maybe for an E36 it can get up there, but I mean, doing them into a G or a GM truck,
Oh, it's cheap. It's gotta be cheap. Because
$300.
I have to have a
depending on how
a drive shaft made.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do the thing swap. It
Yep.
doesn't matter, like unless it's unbelievably lucky.
Yep. And then I'm gonna have to buy like those parts that you said, like, you know, clutch, flywheel.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I can
that's
get-
going to be the cost of any manual swap.
Yeah. But I have
Or
all
you
that
could
shit
run-
for the
or-
302, and
Yeah.
it's not like it was super cheap, but you do have to buy that. It was like $300 for a McLeod setup.
Mm-hmm.
So
How much do you think you could piece away your current setup for?
I don't know. I have no idea what the market looks like. I haven't seen cheap 302s. That's the thing. You can find cheap LS swaps for sure. I'm not doubting that. It's the other stuff. Whereas like the 302, no one really pioneered a sick fucking CX Racing swap kit with this and that because no one gives a fucking flying shit. If you were like, I have this 302 motor, people would be like, okay. Like, what do you want me to do with it? I'm not putting it in my car.
I had a customer tell me today they were trying to sell their Fox Body Mustang, and he was in the car as we were talking to him. I was like, oh, just curiosity. Like, I can't really buy it right now, but just curiosity. What are you looking for? $25,000. I was like,
Yeah,
it's just,
absolutely
it's
not.
It's no.
So like trying to find like junkyard Explorers now from the 90s.
For like the 9-inch rear end or whatever that is.
No, just the GT40P, like a full long block. It's like
Oh.
they are not sitting there anymore. If they are, they're probably fucked from sitting there.
Also,
for
it's
fucking
probably
10
not an
years.
engine in there anymore.
That too.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's definitely going up. I mean, maybe even if I got $3,000 for my full setup, everything. Yeah, V8 E36 was the swap kit, and that's what I have.
Mhm.
But even that, the swap kit, quote unquote swap kit, is dog shit. It's angle iron mounts, which they overcharge for, because I literally could fucking fart in a welder and make these things.
Should have just bought a welder.
I have one.
Should have just made him.
I didn't have a welder at the time. I do have one now. And I forget what else it comes with. Trans mount and yeah, whatever. Something else. It was fucking stupid. It's not worth whatever the swap kit was.
Scott points out a good point in the chat that the truck manifold is one of the best power making intake manifolds on the LS motor.
That's the swirly boy one?
No, like the one I have on the 68. I have an LS6 on both of mine. They make less power than the factory truck one does.
But they're less attractive.
Exactly. And the big thing people use the LS6 for is because it's a lower profile and so it can clear hoods and stuff. That's why I have it on the 68 because the hood didn't clear.
That's
The
what I
86 has tons of fucking, they're like $400, $400-$500 depending on where you get them. But that's with fuel rails and injector. So
Which one is that? That's not the black fucking swirly
that's the one
thing?
that looks like that, like almost like snakes going across the
Yeah,
road.
yeah.
That's an LS 1, 3, or 6. That's a true LS intake manifold.
So that's another expense.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I would have to do that. I don't want to fucking have a cowl. I don't have a Mustang.
So don't run a hood. That's literally, if you ever saw my truck without a hood, that's why I didn't have it. It didn't fit for the first like year and a half. So I was just like, I want to drive this thing. I don't give a fuck about a hood.
He can't not run a hood.
I'm
though. That's the problem.
100% gonna run a hood. I can't. No, I personally cannot not run a hood.
For Lock City.
I think you could run a no hood at Lock City.
Yes. 'cause
Yeah,
I
I'm
have
pretty sure,
photos, yeah.
especially if you have cooling issues. I think they
Wow.
stated you could run without, as long as it's like everything's properly fucking.
Interesting. Okay. Hey.
I could be wrong. If Garrett's in the chat, fucking please chime in. But I
I
want
think
to
he's
run the
hands
hood.
full right now.
Oh yeah, I want to run a hood, so I would want
That's
to
fine.
do the clearance. I mean, this is obtainium, but if I want to drive this year, not
You said that last year.
Yeah, but
and
I don't
earlier
know,
today you said you weren't aiming for this year anymore.
This is
if I have the goal of even starting the car this year.
Yeah.
You and I build cars differently, though. You want it to be the first time you drive it.
Done.
I don't give a fuck. I want it to go down the road and stop.
We
Because
talked about this at dinner because like that was my biggest problem with the Polo is I spent so much time and money on it that by the time I got to it I was just so exhausted. Or it feels like let's get it together, drive it, enjoy
And
it,
figure out what it needs.
recharge
No
that like
radio,
feeling.
no fucking thermal barrier on the floor, no carpet, no hood. Don't give a fuck. Like engine looks like a mess.
Well,
no bed floor.
I did
Guess
that.
what?
I already
had a
did
V8
that.
fucking slam truck. Like it was sick.
Yeah. But I did that already.
This is
I did
this
that
is
part.
this is the issue I think a lot of people run into when doing like a project car is they want that Mona Lisa when they first drive it, and then it just gets fucking kicked down the road for 5-6 years, and they lose steam. They're sick of spending money on it, and they just give up on it. I know too many people that have done that.
Yeah.
It's
for
way
sure.
more fun to get it on the road driving, figure out what you like, what you don't like about it, and then just change it, fix it,
Well, so
improve it over the time.
that's why I took the car completely apart. I put it all together. I did everything. I kind of rushed through it. I don't know if you heard what I said, but
Yeah.
like I was in the midst of moving. Then my shop was getting canceled, whatever you want to call it, gone. So I had to move the car again. I had to rush to get the swap in. I was doing everything fucking not half-assed, but fast because I was limited on
Yeah, been
time.
there.
So now the motor's in the car. The engine bay is not even rattle canned or sanded or nothing. The shit's rusty. There's barnacles on my fucking intake manifold. I'm disgusted at what I've put together. But I was so like, I got to do this because I've never put it in the car. I don't even know if it fucking runs, this and that, whatever. I buttoned everything up and now I'm driving it. I'm like, fuck it. It's together. It runs and drives. I'll drift it. So now I'm drifting it, but like the car's 15 different colors. The engine bay fucking pisses me off. I hate the steering setup because it's like right next to the headers. The headers look like shit. The fucking intake manifold looks like shit. I'm like, everything's leaking. So I'm going to address this all at once.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I've gone down this road now. And now where I'm like at the point of like the car looks so good. Now I have to take all this time to make the engine look so good. There's still more to do. And it's like,
Yeah, I mean, it's an infinite budget thing.
yeah, it's,
Right,
just,
that's
it's
the-
sick
at
as
some
you want
point
to.
you
you
just
can
have
never
to.
stop.
Yeah,
Send it.
it's yeah.
You just have to send it. But like, I'm not trying to go crazy on the motor. The only reason I had to do heads. And I'm honestly,
And
guys,
also, it
might not even do them at this point. I
It
just want
depends
to
on
drive.
where you want your the budget on the car to go. Like if you'd rather spend that extra whatever, I know you're getting like the paint deal, but like if you'd rather spend it on bodywork, spend it on bodywork. I mean,
Yeah,
like
like-
it's not for everybody, and
It's what you want.
there are LSs get beaten over your fucking head for this very reason that I'm stating. So like I get that not everybody wants them or likes them. For me, unless I wanted like a cool factor, I personally wouldn't use any other motor. Like Corey and I were talking about it. There was like some YouTube channel that we like or that I like. They did like an ITB
S2000, yeah.
S2000 K24 motor, like spent like fucking 10 grand on the thing to like rev it out to 9,000, put it on the dyno, and it was like 220 wheel. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it makes no
I'm
sense.
like, why would you ever in my
It was-
life do that?
By
Like,
putting the K series and the ITBs on it, it made less power than it did with the F series.
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you need to have like
I watched the
Actual
end of that.
work
They're
done
like
for-
something's definitely wrong.
Yeah, but even so, what's if it makes 250?
Nothing.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
no, you-
wrong
right.
by like 20 horsepower.
if you
It's not wrong by 100.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
to me, it just makes no sense.
you have
But
to
that
do
noise
big high
sounds
comp
ripping.
pistons
The
to make power with ITBs
But
and K series.
have you ever sat in a solid motor mount muscle car or truck and the thing is just going like this?
Yeah.
And your body is fucking shaking.
Yeah, by E36. That's how it was.
No, that was falling apart, my friend.
No, it was bolted together.
I was vibrating itself apart. The
That actually did. I did have a engine mount come loose.
I will say I went for a ride in the E36 on the
Did you?
street. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Damn, I ain't never get
That was
in
before the engine mount came loose.
Yeah, we got pizza. It's safe to say
Yeah, gears and gasoline. That
the
was it.
the LS checks off a lot of boxes.
For sure.
What are some of the downsides to it?
An LS,
Yeah.
you get to have this fucking conversation with everyone you go to.
Yeah, how much was this? How much was that? What
Right.
do you do here?
Yeah. Right.
The downsides is there's zero uniqueness to it. If you give a shit about like someone looking at it and being like, oh, whoa, like this is different.
This motor's compelling, like the S14.
You open a fucking hood of any American muscle car, especially a GM product, and you're expecting to see an LS at this
right.
point. Like everybody's fucking.
Corey and I do it and say, "Oh, that's an LS."
Yeah,
every single time.
Yeah.
Realistically, that's probably about the biggest downfall I can think of, because other than that, like anyone who tunes muscle cars it knows how to tune an LS. The parts, like I said, you can go to AutoZone, fix them with whatever they have there. Any duct tape is going to get it going. Like they're awesome. I personally love them. And they're fucking, and because they were in everything, they're everywhere.
Yeah. In dare I say motorsport applications, like I know the cooling, do they generally stay pretty cool with simple components?
Yeah, the aluminum ones, like a true LS motor, you'll probably get like 10 or 15 degrees cooler out of it. Like an iron block will run a little bit hotter,
just because it's not gonna allow that heat to dissipate.
But an iron block, like the truck motors, like I was saying, are burlier, and so they can take more boost, they can take more power, they can take a lot more before they have any sort of gigantic casualty. To that effect, a stock bottom end LS, if you put a 4-bar map sensor in it and gap your rings and everything right, you can run 1,000 horsepower on that all day, every day, and have no issues.
Which is wild.
No issues at all.
Yeah.
The only thing you have to do, and a lot of people, they have success just buying like high mileage LS motors because they're so worn out that the rings have already opened up a bit that they'll just fucking put a turbo on.
Somebody said in the chat a while back, oh yeah, all junkyard motors just come pre-gapped.
Yeah, because they're so worn out that and that there's really no issue. And going back real quick, can bearings are like the one big thing that LS is just eat the fuck through. 6 liters more specifically will eat through a cam bearing. And so like your high mileage one, if you pull a cam out, typically the finish is gone on it and you're going to see copper. In the 68, I did not replace them. In the 86, since I had the motor out, I put new cam bearings in. They're $20. They're just hard to do if the motor's in the car. But a 5.348, they don't go through them nearly as much.
Yeah.
Your crank bearings on a 200,000 horsepower or a 200,000 mile motor will look brand fucking new, like they weren't even fresh out of the package. But
apparently, 6 Racing makes a drive shaft too. But for what? It's got to be a specific engine. So
engine
T56
mount.
from a 01 Z28. Is that the same?
That's
the
an
Camaro.
F-body.
Okay, so that's like $1,500. So that's what a chassis harness has. He's got an LQ4.
That's a 6-liter.
Gen 3.5.
Yep.
It's a Gen 3. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gen 3.5 is not a Gen. Gen
No,
3
he said
is.
both my LQ4 are Gen 3.5. It's a Gen 3 LQ4.
Yep.
But he has a Gen 4 internal set up on it.
Yeah, so the Gen 4 rods are a little bit, which is the rectangular port heads have a little stronger rods in them than Gen 3s.
Yeah, and then he said he paid $1,500 for his mystery T56.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the thing. Is like who fucking has a T56 that doesn't beat the shit out of it? Every high school kid had a Camaro in like 08 when they were fucking cheap and beat the fuck out of the thing. And so they're just a little doggy.
You could get a new Magnum for $3,500, brand new.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. That's
T56 Magnum transmission. I bought a TKX, which is like 700 torque capability, 600, 700, depending on it. In full disclosure, it was like $1,800. That's a brand new Tremec.
yeah.
Which most people are not breaking 700 horsepower or 600 torque.
Right.
How good is it going to feel for you to be the first person to fuck?
smash through those gears?
No one's been there before you.
No one.
No.
That truck hasn't. It's been on the road. Maybe like 5 years ago. Last time I was registered, I think was like 2010. So like 12 years ago, 13 now. So it'll be cool.
Definitely be cool.
Yep.
Want to answer some questions?
Yeah, I think
Shook,
we
unless you
hammered-
have any.
hammered
sorry
some
about
stuff.
that.
No, don't.
No,
sorry
no,
at all.
you're good.
I was just going to say, like, yeah, it could be cheap. No, it's not that cheap at an E36.
I to wrap up, I fully agree with that. It can be cheap depending on what car you're putting in and depending on how much you want to do to it. It can be cheap. You can also go out and buy a Don Hardy motor, which is $30,000.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's whatever your budget
can-
is.
Yeah, like, if
I
$7
mean-
grand is cheap to you, then yeah, it's fucking cheap.
Really, what kind of stemmed this as well is, Corey getting that motor and us having it here, and we were looking at it. It's like, all right, spend $1,000, $1,200 to freshen that motor up.
Mhm.
But then what do we do
Cheaper.
with it?
You can do it cheaper than that.
We have that, but it, the money is the problem, obviously.
Yeah,
but
you've built a motor. What do you do with
right?
it? What do you
That's
put it
things.
in?
What do we
Yeah.
do? Because then, again, to your point, you can do it really cheap. Well, finding a truck or something like that
Is not cheap
not that
anymore,
cheap these
yeah.
days. Finding an E30, sure, could be cheap, but then we're in the same position. What is cheap? It's relative to whatever. But we'd be in the same position as Shook of, okay, got to spend all this money just to get the motor in the car and then go from there. Granted, we could probably do it for $5,000, whatever it is, but
Yeah, like if you're just a general consumer and you're trying to go like the path of least resistance, you don't want to bring it 50 different places. You just want to buy the kit so everything bolts in. Siki has a stage 3 kit that comes with an oil pan, engine gaskets, T56 trans mount, drive shaft, remote mount oil filter kit. I don't know why you'd need that. Stage 3 has all that shit. That's a stage 1 kit. So stage 3 has all that shit. And then it adds headers, a wiring harness that you can have fully pinned out to what you want, and something else. But that kit is $4,900. So there's a bunch of shit in there too. But $5,000 to bolt it in and wire it up.
I think a lot of these companies that make these kits capitalize off the fact that people are kind
Don't know.
of not.
Yeah, they don't know how
Right.
to shop for like a la carte parts.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do the $500 kit, tell them what parts you have, but like I'm going to be honest, I don't know shit about LSs, so this is where I would have to ask you stuff. But when you're looking at it, it's like, what gen pump do you have here? And what is this AC thing and this
Yeah,
power steering pump
easily.
and this over here? It's like,
It's easy. It's all the same.
but for the wiring, it's like, well, what do I pick? Which one's the easiest one to get? Because
If you ever got down that road, just I'll give you my number. Just text me.
yeah.
Don't do that.
Just
Yeah, don't
DM.
give me your number until I'm down the road, though.
I got a business account or my Instagram too, so I can put you in general. Never see that shit.
So like, yeah, like all said and done, I'm truthfully considering doing this. I don't know if I'm going to do it this year or not. It really just depends on where I'm at with the car.
Don't spend another $1 on that 302 then.
That's why I was like, I might not even do heads. I might literally just have them surfaced and put them back on and just drive the
Are they
fucking thing.
leaking?
No, but
Are they off?
they're off. So I would just leave them
Well,
off.
I mean, the machine shop I was using just closed, unfortunately, but I was getting my heads resurfaced for like $100. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
cheap money, but now that's another $100 down the rabbit hole you are on that thing.
I'd rather spend that than the $1,200 or whatever to do heads,
Yeah.
and then be like, "Well, I'm going else now." So
Yeah.
somebody's gonna get sweet heads.
Real quick point. I know this is getting dragged on a bit, but the one tip I have for someone that if you want to build an LS or swap it is buy it as complete as you can.
Yeah.
Try to get your intake manifold, coils, injectors, alternator, starter,
all the stuff that you can
water
generally
pump,
use anyway.
wiring harness, PCM, everything. Hell, take the manifolds, take the mounts. Maybe you can reuse those because you will crush yourself. Because like a good set of injectors are $300-$400.
Yep.
You need
I was gonna say it could be death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Easily.
Just
Easily.
suddenly like, oh fuck,
Yeah,
I got this,
easily.
but
You could have got the whole motor for $600. Now you're
Easily.
spending $600 on a motor with missing shit, and then another $300 on
It's
injectors.
the same thing we were saying about how it's almost cheaper to buy a wrecked Silverado or a fucking van than it is.
Like for
to
me,
just-
that would be the only way to do it. Is just buy the whole vehicle.
I know so many people that have done that have made money getting
Yeah.
their motor
right,
and trains.
yeah, because you can sell.
I know someone that bought an LBZ, which is a Duramax motor van for like $3,000 and just sold the motor and trans setup for $5,000.
Yeah.
So it's like you made money just buying this guy's junk. They're out there.
You just have to. You have the time and the want to get after it.
Yeah,
And the space.
And
That's
I-
the big thing.
Yeah.
I might actually try and find something on Copart like a Camaro, because I have a friend who actually can buy stuff through Copart, which is like you need to have like an auction license or something.
Yeah.
Like you make a low bid and you
Firebirds too.
Firebird.
Trans Ams.
Okay, I just want it for like $2,500. And now
Cheapest.
I have everything I need.
Like I
and
said,
can
be
sell
careful
everything.
on the Camaros because I think it's 99 to or 98 to 2000 of the LT1 V8s, and they have, I think that might be a T5 in that. I'm not sure. That might be a T56. I think it's 01 to like 03 or the LS1.
That's the
That's
one
the one
that
that
you're
you
supposed to.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's 0 and 03.
because the LT1 motors suck. Don't even bother with them.
Why do those suck?
Antiquated fuel injection.
Okay, it's just old.
Yeah, still iron heads, iron block. They're okay for like if you want to strip them off and put carburetor on it, but like it's not even the same motor.
Okay. There you go, guys.
There we go. Let's answer some
Just
LS
swap
related questions. Is that what you've come to the termination?
I don't know. I mean, like, even if I could get like half my money back, let's say I got like $3,500 for everything that I have for 302, which I highly doubt I could.
There's a sucker born every day.
Like, I don't even know what it's worth.
Some
I really
good marketing, really, pump up those Craigslist posts.
Yeah, like if I fully seal this thing and sell it for $1,500, which is I've seen 302s going for, and then maybe like $400 or $500 for the trans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's only $2,000. Then maybe like another $500 for the fucking management, which I doubt I'll even get that. And it's like a drop in the bucket. It's less than half of what I think I'd need to spend. That would get me a motor and some mounts, so I can put it in the fucking car and look at it and go, one day I'll finish this. But I mean, that's how it is. I mean, no one just goes out and buys everything at once unless you got money like that.
Right.
I don't.
I don't.
It just again, to Phil's point, get you to a point where, okay, I'm good for this, get it going.
So if anything, if I did anything at all, I just leave the 302 as is, clean it up, make it not look like a turd as much as you can. Drive it this season or whatever, or at least get a season out of it. And then next winter or the following winter, be like, okay, this is coming out. Or at least start stacking LS shit during this time. Try not to break anything. And they're like, okay, I got the motor, I got the trans. The motor's all refreshened up. I got the cam in it. I did the cam bearings.
I think your problem is that you've already sort of half dedicated to the 302. If you were nowhere even like half there, this
start
would be
LS.
brainer.
I'd start LS. The issue was I had $1,200 and this motor complete swap kit was $1,200.
Yeah,
and I was
that
like,
makes sense.
That makes sense. I didn't have the extra $1,000 for the Camaro. I could have found it. I could have borrowed it. I could have fucking stole it, whatever. Yeah. But then I'd have two cars I'd have to move around 6 times, and I would have been fucked regardless. So, dude, it's just how shit works out. Like, yeah, man, every time you tell me to LS swap it, yeah, in hindsight, maybe I should have. But I literally don't need you to tell me that. So, thank you, I guess, for telling me. You're smart.
Here's some questions we're going to rip through. TDs. Better to buy some parts than install when they show, or buy everything and install at once?
Oh, I love having everything all at once.
Yeah, everything all at once.
That's a good play.
Depending on what it is. Like, if you're doing your front end, is it all for the front end? Is it all for the rear? Yeah. Is a piece for the interior? Is a piece for the steering? Like,
and what stage the car is at, too.
He doesn't really have a winner like us, though. Because, like...
I like New England for that reason.
I like stockpile
off season. Yeah,
stockpile parts.
It's, if anything, it's better to stockpile if there is no off season, because then one weekend you just fucking bang out your suspension.
You work way faster than I do, brother. One weekend.
That depends on what you're doing.
I'm trying to fly and I'm like 3 months in.
That's true.
Salvuch _K 2500. Might as well talk Cummins swaps while we're at it.
No,
too expensive for me.
Daniel _DJ 2023. Are car parts swap meets worth your time? Good question.
Oh, you go. Yeah,
they're cool.
A lot of hot rod stuff is like boomer. Like, and so like they have like an old 350, like because 350s have been around forever. Small block Gen 2 motors and stuff like that. 454s, big blocks. They've been around forever. That all that stuff is really, really plentiful there. Like everyone's got an Edelbrock fucking dual plane intake. Full for sale. LS stuff is kind of starting to trickle in there, but again, it's so inexpensive to buy the motor as a whole that you're not really seeing like cherry picked parts like that. But not for nothing. It's like one of my favorite things to do is just walk around.
It's fun as fuck.
The fucking sunburn on my neck.
Just going to walk around. Like,
they're awesome.
It's
so many old school trinkets.
Yeah, they're great. Because
you see the devil guy.
Most of them end up being like half antique shows too, and so there's just like shit everywhere.
Yeah,
license plates like you'd never seen before. Thousands of them.
Garrett Lee 393, 2 L's, and don't you forget it.
That's my name.
Gilly Built. Cheap LS engines are cheap when you buy. Cheap LS engines are cheap when you buy a $400 engine. The insides are going to reflect. Just went through 4 of them to finally get a good one.
I think that's just bad luck.
Yes and no. I mean, who the fuck has a landscape truck that they take care of? You know, that's what it came out of. So,
oh my fucking god! It's like those guys purposely fuck them up.
Yeah.
My dad had a brand new F-150 and he brought it to the Ford to have the oil change. They're like, brother, this thing has 55,000 miles on it.
Your fucking first recorded one.
They put him on the wall of shame. They literally brought him a Dixie cup of peanut butter. They were like, this is the oil in your fucking motor. And my dad was like, oh, I don't fucking know.
People beat the shit
Like,
out
what a
of them.
fucking
That's
dude.
the problem.
You're dumb. You're dumb.
Artie Woo Cakes. Why are old people obsessed with Buicks?
Dude.
Because they made G bodies back in the day, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. Because there used to be a time where Buicks were fucking sick.
It was the status.
Yeah,
It
now
was-
you get fucking Equinoxes and crap. Or I think that's a Chevy car, but
Buick's and the other one, Ford or Mercury Sable.
yeah, that's the
And the Ford.
Mustang
Wait,
or Taurus.
But and they're all like
Ford
this.
And Ford and Mercury were the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing
like an
fucking
old
wheelies.
I forget what the chassis code is on those old Mustangs, but a Cougar and a Mustang is like the same car.
Yeah, but
It has
the,
like a
dude,
Camaro and like a whatever.
old people
Trans
love.
Am.
It's like the old people that were like, I can't swing a Buick. I can swing a Mercury. though." And now they're just doing wheelies since like 2003 because the coil springs broke.
Sigma Woodcraft. How many times does Josh say, if you will, on average per podcast? Could he do it once without saying it? Absolutely not.
No fucking
Many
shot.
times, if you will. Jordan MX_5.
God bless.
If Jesus drove a car, what's he whipping?
A Miata. That hair be flowing.
That's true.
I'd like to picture my Jesus in a Cadillac.
I got uninvited to the house parties because I made a Cage comment.
Oh, dude, I've been relentless with it.
Uninvited.
They said it like you're uninvited. Don't
Uninvited.
Come. Don't come.
I even commented in their Discord. Can't wait
Do
to
not
see y'all's
come.
cars with cages in them next year.
Let's see. Another one from Jordan. Who's your girl's favorite drift team?
Nice style, baby.
Nice style.
Not night style.
Not nice style, though. You said.
It's definitely not night style.
I couldn't name a single one.
My girlfriend, I think, wants to fight Jordan at this point.
NPR, baby. Tubby, represent.
NPR, yeah.
NPR.
I could.
Yeah, that's crazy. You almost
Yeah.
forgot your boys.
I know. Well, Tubby don't drift anymore.
Nah,
now
he's-
Tubby's like NPR dirt bike, whatever.
Yeah.
He was dirt biking today,
He's
30
fucking-
degrees or whatever.
He's fucking Mad Mike.
He is.
He's got shoulder pads and
and he's
everything.
fucking good at them all too. That's the crazy
Mad
part.
Mad Mike.
He's good at everything he does. He also
Does he
harms-
talk? Does he talk like
harms
this now?
himself.
He fucking butchers himself.
Dude, he harms
He's like,
himself.
I think I cracked my rib.
he
Oh
did crack
my
a
God.
rib.
I fucking
He
nobody
did break a rib.
car guys like when they're like, yeah, I was fucking drifting through this thing. I was like, screw. Nobody talks like motocross guys. They're like, I was like going over this motherfucking, and I hit it with the. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, that's it.
They all fucking do it.
Yeah.
It's coming over that top. They all do it, and I watch it all. My mouth is open.
That
They're
and
like,
surfers.
yeah, dude, that guy.
Just get
I hit the fucking top, dude. Dropped in. Whoop out. Hit the back. Ugh. Got pitted. So pitted.
Yeah.
Noah Sport RI. He just writes, when are we recording the new punk-themed revival intro song with contribution Chris?
Noah and I have had this idea to write you guys a new song or an intro. Noah, bass, me guitar, or drums.
Yeah.
Casali on bass, contribution.
You gonna get him to slot the bass?
That's what I said. I was like, dude, it's punk. I was like, we can make a fucking 20-second intro song.
Right,
Just
right, yeah.
You know,
Are you playing drums?
I can, but I play guitar typically.
Is that what you petitioned to play drums?
I mean,
fucking
Noah
do
plays
whatever.
drums.
I play drums.
I'm shitty enough.
I've been
to do
playing
it
for
all.
like.
You can bring the vocals.
Oh yeah, I'll yell.
For sure.
I'll
Yeah.
yell.
All
Yeah.
right.
If you want to play drums, yeah, I'll
Yeah, fucking do
yell.
it all.
There we go. Let's see. Let's skip around a little bit. Subi Cage. Wait, what is
Brother.
it? What is it? Subi Cage to me. I don't care.
Kage.
Kage. That's not how it's... All right, so why is it Kage?
How is it written?
Kage. Cause it's fucking Japanese, bro.
I don't. Yeah,
know.
I mean, seeing that, I would say Cage as well.
It's not Nicolas Cage. It's Subikage.
Rage isn't Rage.
Yeah. But is reggae, you know?
That's spelled accordingly.
Yeah, it is. But it is Kage, and I knew that.
What motor, that's not another LS, would you swap into a car that came with an LS?
Oh. So if it was
An LT4.
okay.
The Gen 5.
Is Josh Rivera Subikage? Yeah.
I don't know.
Josh Rivera no jutsu, you know what I'm saying? Oh dude. K series turbo in a Corvette would be hilarious.
Those are getting, I would LS swap a Corvette.
Or the new C8.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know enough about motors.
What if you
I
had
like the
to-
2J motors a lot, but the fucking $9,000 for that thing, like no way.
What would you
Yeah,
put
no
in your
fucking
truck
way.
that's not an LS? If you had to, like, gun to your head right now, pick a motor.
It does an LT4 count?
No, yeah, you can't.
So like no American V8.
You can't gray area. You could do like a Coyote. I guess I would count.
$5,000 for a motor. I'm
Did you?
good.
Yeah, I wish you guys could have seen his face. So
They can. There's a camera right
it was-
there.
I'm good.
There's a
I
meme.
literally slapped his mother. Right
There's
there.
there's the little kid meme that makes the same face. I don't know what the meme is from, but yeah.
no
There's the-
budget aside, probably like a 2J. I think those are cool.
Okay.
They sound really cool.
I'll take it.
Let's see. Well, just the last couple here. Kevin401. Phil, do you have a nickname for the 86 pickup?
My dog Wes named it the Blue Cat.
The blue cat.
Because I was saying, I was like, oh, it's really cool how it's been like here, there, and everywhere. He's like, man, this thing's got like 9 lives. It's like a blue cat. And I was like, Blue Cat's it.
Blue cat.
It's a good name.
And if you've seen Ozark, Marty buys the Blue Cat, and so
Yep.
it's cool. Blue Cat.
What a letdown. Spanish, English.
Oh boy.
What type of music do you cruise to in the summer? Also, windows down or up?
I ain't got no AC.
That second question is unbelievable.
I ain't got no AC.
You do okay if you have AC. It's still windows down.
What?
Yeah,
Brother.
windows down, AC
That-
full blast,
This is why my guy can't afford an LS swap.
Right.
He's burning through gas.
full blast. But if you don't have AC, I don't know. I always have the windows down. Why would you not want the air fucking up your face?
Have you seen it out there?
Oh, I live in Connecticut. Yeah, Rhode Island. There, I don't know if I want to be breathing that.
I got the windows down and Hank Williams Jr. on full blast.
Oh, Hank Williams.
Little Junior on there.
I didn't even know Hank Williams.
I had a lot of Beastie Boys driving around in the Civic.
Beastie Boys is good.
That was sick.
Yeah.
It felt period correct for me.
I like tough guy music, you know, because you get out and they're like, look at this. Look at this
you-
fucking asshole. I'm like,
you-
hi, what's up? With my little
You
girl
s-
voice.
You posted Ailstorm.
Fucking dude, they're coming. I'm gonna be in that fucking pit rowing.
It's pirate punk rock.
Yeah. You know what the pit is, dude? It's dudes nuts to butts rowing boats that don't exist. I'm
Are
going.
you kidding me? Is that really what
Yeah. I'll Google it. I'll show you.
we're gonna need to pull
I
that
want to
up.
go so fucking bad. I'm not even kidding. I think it's
I thought
hilarious.
are you not going?
I'm going.
Okay.
But I'm going, dude. It's hilarious. I don't know. You know Pirate Pete from fucking Dodgeball?
Yep.
I wonder if that dude is Pirate Pete. Like, he gets off stage, he's like, I need a fucking Sprite. Like, there's no way that shit carries over to real life.
need
And if
this-
it does, I want to meet him more.
And a Sprite and a hard piece of bread. Is
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Got fucking scurvy. Wait, did you listen to it? What song?
I wanted to just hear what this was, and I'm just like, all right, what's Shook listening to?
It's incredible. Do you?
And-
You don't?
No,
Never in
he
my life.
definitely doesn't.
No?
Neither do I.
Never in my life.
You listen to Terror,
Yeah.
Of course.
but you don't like.
Scott Vogel, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Scott Vogel's been carrying the hardcore torch for like 2 decades now. Like, yeah, fuck with terror.
I think we were nearing the third.
Yeah,
I mean, but-
honestly.
You wouldn't listen to a pirate metal band,
He asked that seriously.
dude. It's cool.
You
Wait,
couldn't
you're
fucking
telling
sell me
me-
on that any less.
Yeah. You're telling me you all listen to pirate punk rock?
Dude, you like terror, like one of the
Yeah.
staples, but you won't fuck
Yeah.
with pirate
Yeah, dude, you
music?
gotta fucking branch out sometimes.
Do you want to listen to
Gen
Dropkick
Z.
Murphys, but way worse?
Yeah, right, dude?
There we go.
Ah, okay. I don't know about that.
I would have said that's what it sounded like.
Wow.
It was very. I'm like, oh, is this a Dropkick Murphy song?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wait, no.
Oh, God. Fuck no, I don't want
They're talking about.
If it's legit, like anywhere near the drop kick, like
Yeah, there's
done.
fucking but they play like fiddles and stuff.
Do you want
know?
the
It's like
boss tones,
folk music?
but terrible?
The Boss Tones kind of bang. They got
I
a
love
couple.
the boss tones. I love the boss tones.
I don't really like Dropkick Murphys. I mean, the Boston guys.
I don't
are
give a
probably
fuck.
not
Your
fucking-
music taste sucks anyway.
Wow, dude.
It's so aggressive.
That's aggressive.
Pirate music.
It's one band.
It's like role playing.
It is role playing. It's real
Oh,
weird.
100. Yeah, they take it.
I like Viking stuff. I don't care about that.
It's like
but
War
wait.
from back in the day.
Oh, I mean, you did show us the Tibetan new metal or whatever the fuck it was that one time. That was wild.
yeah, it was weird. But like the music was pretty good.
What's the name of them?
I have no idea.
No. Sorry, the pirate band.
Ailstorm.
Oh,
Oh, don't
Ailstorm.
worry. We'll pull it up as
Okay,
I'm
I'll-
downloading this.
After. I'll give it an honest
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah. I think that's going to cover it this week, ladies and gentlemen. We were trying to wrap it up a little bit early today. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why we did
gave
pretty
it an
good.
honest
yeah,
effort.
we gave it a shot.
We did it.
We're doing pretty
I
good.
think
We'll
we
be
did a
back. Be back next week, hopefully with some special guests in the studio to talk about a hot topic, not the store either, but a hot topic, if you will. That's really burning up the internets these days. So hopefully we can get them in studio to chat about that. Phil, thank you very much for coming to hang out.
Thank you so much for having me. Had a great
Thanks,
time.
buddy.
We hope
Thank you.
I certainly took away a lot of LS knowledge.
Yeah, we're all LS fans here now.
I don't think I ever wasn't. I
wasn't either.
in fact, you made it seem a bit more
Obtainium.
obtainable, right?
Yeah.
I will say this too. I try to be as responsive as I can on my Instagram. So if you have any questions, I'm not the guru. I'll preface it with that. I'm pretty much like an intermediate somewhere in there.
Yep.
You're like
me a
Miss
D-
Cleo.
Shoot
but
me a
for
DM
LSs?
if I know the answer. I'm always happy to tell people like I'll give you the knowledge I've learned along the way. So
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I think again, praise you all the time. The best thing is this, like literally, you just decided, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it all myself.
Too
And
cheap
you
to
have
pay anyone
been
else.
doing that for the past 8 years,
That's it.
something like that. But yeah, thank you everybody in the chat. We will see you next week. Congrats to Paul again for winning the B for B.
That's right.
Donut Meet's coming soon. We got a month away, everybody. So yeah, we'll see you soon.
Sounds great.
See you next week. Peace.
Ciao.
Just LS swap it, bro.